The stream has just begun. There we are.
Ah.
Definitely kept track of that.
Ah.
Ah. Ah.
Time for Scream.
It's time for Scream. Scream stream.
Ah.
Hi, Kiro. How are you doing? Welcome
Time
to the
to
perfectly
panic.
organized stream. As always.
Yeah.
Um,
This time with more panic.
more. Have you considered more panic? OBS is updated, and as a consequence, things have broken. It's fine. Why did it? OBS is just broken now. Don't worry about it. Do we blame OBS or Microsoft? I'm not sure.
But
Yeah, sure. Microsoft.
Oh, I just rotated the canvas back around since I had it upside down to draw that cat in, and it looks really weird now.
that tends to happen. So yeah, how you doing, Kira? You having a good time? And also, how's everybody else doing? Because I definitely had time to ask before the stream because I wasn't panicking.
yeah. Nobody was panicking. You can't prove anything.
Nobody can prove anything, unless you're a mathematician, in which case you can prove limited things based on the axioms you choose.
You can't prove anything. Sorry, Chris.
That's the lesser known third Gödel's incompleteness law, is you can't prove anything.
You just can't.
First one was any set of axioms is incomplete if it's sufficiently complicated. The second one says that there's a statement which is true that is unprovable given any set of axioms, and the third one is you can't prove anything.
That's been proven. Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Well, that'll make it when I have to teach my next proof course very easy. I can just walk in the first day and say, like, we can't prove anything, and then just walk right back out.
Yeah. Gödel says so. You ever seen his hair? He's not wrong. Got good hair. He's got the Cruella de Vil hair. Great. Or he had. I mean, it's from the 1940s. Oh, there's a sleeping on the big cat dog thing.
Sleeping on the big. Unclear.
Speaking on the big pet.
I just saw yellow cat.
It's a physical manifestation of me starting the stream.
Yeah.
Or it's going, what is that?
It's
Why
a
not
cat.
both?
Definitely, maybe.
Definitely.
You can't prove that it's not, because again, you can't prove anything.
You can't prove anything. Yeah, we're back to do more celebrity sketch artist thing where we describe celebrities to one another and attempt to draw them, and it turns out looking like just a weird old person that we would not trust to talk to in a bar.
Good lord.
I have not yet picked
starting to sweat.
Ah! So now it looks like
it's stream.
Now it kind of looks like it's inhaling the letters.
Ah.
Yeah, but I thought the joke worked better if the letters were starting in the mouth.
Yeah. Probably it would be better if they were facing to the right, and then it could trail out of the mouth and it could be read in the right direction. We read left to right. It's a problem. Just write a lot of a hiragana going right to left. It would just be a then, wouldn't it? It would work left to right and right to left. I'm definitely of a focused mind right now. So who wants to go first? Yeah. I don't have a celebrity.
That means Chris is not going first.
I'm not going first. Who wants?
I can do it.
Christi.
All right. Are you going first drawing, or are you going first describing?
Whatever people don't want to do.
I don't want to describe. So...
I was about to suggest the exact opposite. You have a celebrity ready to go, so... Loves it reading manga.
Yeah, but also remember how last time went? I cannot describe people.
And that is part of the joy. It's great. We managed to, you described David Tennant and I managed to draw a Michael Sheen lookalike. It worked out great.
A Michael Sheen lookalike who keeps getting rejected
Yeah.
for it.
A lookalike-ish.
Like-ish.
I mean, you're not
Yeah.
close. You're just like one celebrity off. One page separate.
Oh, it's one celebrity removed.
I mean, they were co-workers, so it's probably fine, but, I miss.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. I'm gonna show Miss this. Hey, Miss this. Oh no, I don't actually have the picture of it. That's a shame. Oh well. I was going to show Miss my attempt to draw David Tennant from last time.
I'm glad she can't see it. It's been lost to the void.
I mean, he does save our crimes.
I do have
the
them.
workbook is still there.
No,
You can still go into it.
you
if you
can't
want to
prove anything.
Miss, if you want to scroll up in the stream channel, you can just click on the previous Agio page and just see it. Or watch the VOD. That works too. How you doing, Miss? You alright? Also, let's go! Draw a thing while I think of a celebrity.
Describing or drawing either way is fine. I have a person ready, but also, if you don't want to deal with my descriptions, I get that.
Everybody describes. We all go round.
I would
No one escapes.
like to describe because I have to get something out the oven.
That's fair.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, you described for Chibi last time, though, so I guess I'll jump in and draw instead.
Yeah, let's do a different configuration.
All right, give me a celebrity. Or I guess give me a description so I can try and draw the celebrity.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's kind of cheating if you just.
Don't just say it.
So just to be perfectly clear to confused individuals, I'm describing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Draw a rectangle.
And you're done. It was rectangle. It was
a Lego movie protagonist.
Make that. Sorry.
I just like the idea of the Lego movie not being like little Lego characters, but just being blocks with googly eyes attached. I think that'd be better.
Aww. Sounds adorable.
You're only here for a bit while you eat, then you're off to Elden Ring. Have fun. Don't spoil. I love the fact that there's a Twitch has just given an emote of an Elden Ring thing. It's like, hey, you avoiding spoilers? Here you go. It was in the opening trailer, but then again, most of the game was.
Aww.
Oh yeah, speaking of Kiro, your recommendation for the taxi thing, whatever it was. I second that recommendation, not because I've seen it, but because I have had parts of it spoiled. And I recommend people watch it because it sounds really cool. Everything gets spoiled for me.
Yeah, I get that. Take this rectangle and make it a tiny bit smaller. So there's room for a chin under it. Yeah. And about 4 or 3 centimeters, so like an inch under the bottom of the rectangle, make a little mark. About halfway between where you've put that and the rectangle. That's where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck buying
See,
shelves.
the problem with using absolute distances is that we've all got different size screens.
Yeah.
So even with the whole even without the whole you're used to thinking in metrics and I'm more used to thinking in these gosh dang imperial systems. I'm drawing on a tiny tablet, which is less than 30 centimeters wide.
A fine geometry.
Yes, affine geometry, which only 2 of us know what that means, but that's okay.
I did a video about it, how to draw in perspective. Affine
It's all
geometry.
about the crosses.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yes,
remember.
yes.
You make a
Measure
cross.
Measure
And you
relative
do stuff with
distances.
it.
It's fine.
From that dot, you join up the edges of the rectangle.
All right. So very
And you
pointy
can
chin, it
round
looks
it out
like.
a bit. So it's not like pointy.
So less pointy?
Yeah. Just like a tiny bit of rounding it out.
We're going to force some structure in here.
That's good. And then you can just erase that bottom of the rectangle line. Actually, where that faint line is, go the same distance from the chin to that line. Above the line, and there's the bottom lip.
So bottom lip, you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot how pinpoint precision Christie's descriptions were.
Yeah. Christi is great
No,
at
no.
this.
There's not to
But
apologize.
later we're gonna get to the rest of us and we're gonna be like, well, you know how people have like a jawline, right?
Yeah, but that works. It's just not as annoying and like
add
no,
add
that's you
ears. No,
missed
not
a
like
bit.
that.
It's just can you please like look straight into my mind and put that on the screen? Thank you.
Okay, so I'm seeing a face. Can you draw that?
Okay, so that's where the bottom lip is. Is it like a thicker lip or a thinner lip?
It's like the bottom lip has those shadows where it's like a rectangle, the fleshy bit of the lips, but the colored part is more of a triangle on top of it. Thicker, like double thickness. Yeah. And above that, there's like just a normal lower lip.
So I'm confused. Are we still wait? What's
It's
going
still
on
the
with this
lower lip.
rectangle?
It's still the lower lip. It's turned the
Oh, no.
other way around.
The psychic connection has stopped.
Okay, so we've
The
got
widest part in the triangle is gonna go on top. The widest part. Flip it around.
oh, okay. It's not the tool I wanted. This is going to look a little weird.
And then there's after where the lip stops on either side, there's a line that's like just a line, not any lip parts.
So is it sort of that sort of line that sort of forms from like usually starting around the nose and then down towards?
No, it's like when you draw like anime type people, you always leave these dots or lines in the corners of the mouth.
Oh, like a dimple.
Not a dimple, but an elongated mouth where the lips are more in the middle, so it's just the line. Like how you draw a mouth without lips.
So just like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
We have from the experience of last time, we have had experience of Christi having knowledge of drawing faces way beyond ours, to the point that she refers to lines that we can't see. So
I have overcomplicated the mouth a lot, I see now. Those two lines, they need to go up to where the triangle bit is, the edges of that.
So
I could have
more
just said draw a line on top of the triangle, and that's the middle of the mouth.
draw a line on top of the triangle.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm very intrigued to see where this is going, because at the moment I just see like a kind of
Yeah, I'm just
like
just
a tight-lipped
trying to
robot
figure
or
out
something.
what I'm looking at.
And then maybe just
I mean,
draw.
that's sort of what happens when you're drawing things realistically, though. You look at each of the individual pieces and they don't make sense until you put more things around them.
Especially if you think of them as like shapes instead of bits.
Yeah, it's a when you're describing things, I realize how little I think in like the way of shapes. At least when it comes to the face. But that's probably, I mean, it's most likely just the result of our like process like being really different and how we learn stuff.
It's also like in style, like who needs to know like how the muscles of the jaw works next to the mouth, like those tiny differences. Like who needs to know that if you don't make realism?
Yeah, because it's also just like with realism, you need all these lines to like make a actual face look like a face. While with a more like cartoonish style, it's more like the more lines you put in, the more it overcomplicates the face, and usually like the older it makes it look.
And
yeah, and then the closer you get to either Jinji Ito or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that's style.
That's a crossover I want to see.
on the
Junji's Bizarre Adventure? Sure, I'll go with it. Jojo
but
Ito?
just draw an upper lip and I'll see if it needs changing. It needs to start from the corners of the triangle.
Yeah.
So that's like what I meant with the lines going outside the mouth.
Oh, okay. So like the fatter lip part is sort of in the middle, and then off to the sides, the lip part just keeps going. Gotcha.
Exactly. And then just make a dip down in the middle so there's a cupid's bow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that since that's usually such a small dip, it's usually easier to put in the oval shape and then erase. At least for me, anyway.
That's a smart way to do it.
And she eats a Waluigi.
Yeah. There's a reason you forgot about it. It's
I mean,
self-preservation.
My first thought about Junji Ito was not like any of his horror stuff because I haven't seen any of that. But it's just this comic I've seen like made by him about like him dealing with his cat very lovingly.
Yeah.
And it still looks like it's a horror story.
Yeah, he's got a style, whether he's doing just, wholesome home family life stuff or horror. He's got his style.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's fun to me is like with most of his horror stuff, it's just kind of like, so you know how some horror stuff is like weird social commentary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his isn't for the most part. Like there was one thing where it's just kind of like, yeah, I just thought like sharks aren't really that scary. They're just in the water. Get out of the water, and the shark's no problem. So what if we give the shark legs?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that too. I think that was also on a Drawfee episode at some point that they showed that example of like, what if shark put legs?
To be fair,
It's like,
I kind
well,
of. Hmm?
oh, no, you.
No, I was just gonna say the only Junji Ito thing I've read is the fault line one, the this is my whole line, that one. And that's yeah, I can see like that's. I don't think there's any social commentary in that. That's just viscerally unpleasant.
I haven't read anything of it because I know I wouldn't be able to sleep afterwards.
It's
But
If
I've
if
seen
you
just
have issues with body horror,
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
read his horror works.
it's so incredibly detailed. It's it's a lot.
Yeah, it's incredibly detailed, and also like he'll just draw some like just really twisted bodies, and you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
that's upsetting.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what that.
Objectively upsetting.
You see that image around of like, oh, this is my hole, that classic. This hole was made for me, or whatever it is. And I just wanted to know what on earth it was. And I looked it up, and it went a direction I didn't expect. But I think that's just Junji Ito. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I read it during a period of health anxiety, and that didn't help.
Oh no.
Wow, imagine that.
Yeah, I know. Then again, I would be very, the rational part of my brain is very good at, distinguishing between potential health problems and being psychically attracted to a hole in a fault that is exactly the same silhouette as you, and etc. etc. Like I can distinguish that. That's fine, but it didn't help.
It's not something to read when you're not in a good place, I guess.
No, it just depends. It wasn't that bad. It was just funny that it was that timing. It's like a time when I was reading. There's an author called Will Self, who has a very particular style, by which I mean you need a thesaurus to read it. And he loves his completely obscure and pointless words. But he also loves just complete tonal whiplash. You no idea what the next story is about based on the first. And I was reading a series of short stories of it. And it was when I was working at my old secondary school. I was working as a teaching assistant. And I was just reading this story, and it was bizarre and strange and weird. And I won't go into too many details, but you really shouldn't be reading what was in that story in a school. It was just like the worst timing. It's just no, don't read Will Self in a school. That's particularly the last story in the Tough Toys for Tough Boys collection. I remember that very specifically. The rest of them are fine, absolutely no issues whatsoever. It's just the last story.
Well, I will
That's
keep that off of
English
my
and
reading
stuff.
list whenever I'm visiting high schools.
I mean, to be fair, I've read, I think, all of his short story collections. Not entirely sure I can recommend any of them. So I would just say stay away from Will Self. There's not really much to be gleaned from there. I think he kind of wants to be Franz Kafka, but it's not really. I don't know, he's too English.
Fake deep.
Just to get along with the drawing while we're talking, the
Sorry.
whole mouth, square, everything part of the face, move that a tiny bit down, and then you can continue talking.
I mean, you can also continue describing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do both simultaneously. We will chat about short stories in Discord, and then the stream will.
That's actually the perfect distance.
Yay.
Hey.
Shave off like, I don't know. I can't say centimeters or anything. 20th of the canvas size. Chop that off of the top of the rectangle.
I guess that's fine.
I don't remember how I did distance last time.
Is that a better
double
line? Huh?
Double the distance. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
You can double it more accurately with diagonals. No.
I think you did leave like distances in centimeters with me last time, and I for some reason just guessed it right every time we tried that. Or at
Yeah,
least right
that's
enough.
incredible.
Just like, I guess this is this many centimeters. I don't know.
I'd also say like a thumb, but that also depends on your screen size.
It also depends on your thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thumb's very small.
Me too. That might
There's
be
a
it.
reason why we moved from measuring sticks that are standardized to just using hands and feet to figure out what the heck's going on. Although hilariously, standardized measuring sticks are older than the imperial system, because the ancient Egyptians had those.
Mm.
Nice. I have been thinking about making measuring sticks. I was about to say standardized. Yeah, standardized to me. Measuring sticks just so I always know that this is this distance in my home and everything. Sounds very practical.
Yeah.
I mean, there are different kinds of rulers. I've got a couple of rulers that I inherited from my grandpa that have they're I think they're called carpenter's rulers, something like that. They've got instead of just being flat, they're shaped like little triangles. And so basically it's got 3 different faces on it, and each side of the face has a different measuring system on it, so it's got 6 different systems present on it to measure with.
Yeah.
And some of it is just kind of like, what is this?
Yeah, I always just ignored all of the sides that weren't centimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't need it, you don't need it.
Britain's still in the hybrid stage. Every single ruler I have ever seen has inches and centimeters. That is just a thing. I don't know what inches. I can kind of inches roughly 3 centimeters because I keep seeing it on a ruler. That's about as much as I know, really, and I can work from there. But at the same time,
centimeters.
But at the same time, I measure height in feet. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're a weird country. We measure height in. I remember there was a thing. Dave Gorman, he does this show about like. He does a section in one of his shows about just weird comments on comment boards about inane things, and there was a news story about like people, changing to the metric system and all that sort of stuff. And somebody wrote on there, "I can't believe they're trying to force us to use centimeters and meters. Feet are more natural because that's what we grow in."
What? What do you mean?
I just remember that sentence. Feet's more natural because that's what we grow in.
What do you mean you grow in feet? You have feet. So, like, I get that, but like, what do you mean you grow?
He assembles all of these comments into like a sort of poem and has like music going in the background, and I think when he said that he just couldn't stop laughing for like a minute. It's just absurd.
Yeah, that one is weird.
Never stood in a bucket of feet to help you grow? Well, you don't know what you're missing out on.
Get a bucket, fill it with feet.
Like
Let yourself grow like a plant.
there are definite legitimate pros and cons between the metric system and the imperial system. So, like, if you want to argue having both of them as an option, that's fine. I don't care. But despite the fact that the imperial system, there's some definite pros to it, and there's a reason why it developed the way it did, it's still arbitrary.
Yeah.
We made it up.
No, but it's what we grow in.
In feet.
We grow in feet.
I mean, if you're growing a foot all at once, maybe see a doctor about that.
So if you take the pointy sides of the chin and the top of the rectangle, you find the middle. From the middle of each side, you draw a line down to the middle of the chin, where the chin stops.
So you're saying, like, these diagonals?
Diagonal.
Yeah, but from the middle of the outside line, from each side of the rectangle, you find the middle of that line.
Bisect it. Yeah, geometry.
Perfect.
We did it.
We did it. We
We
bisected
made
the
Chris
rectangle.
proud.
And from those points, you make a line down to like each side of the chin, where you would think that's the like chin part and not the jaw part. Just the guesstimate.
What am I drawing in?
To
Aggie.
be annoying and specific, if from the rectangle, that's the bottom lip. From each side of that, if you go directly down, where you meet your chin line, those two spots, those you need to join up to those points you made on each side of the face. Perfect. Those are the lines I want.
This person's having plastic surgery, yeah?
Yeah, cut here. Do not cut here. Oh, okay, draw a line. Okay. Cool. I get what you mean now.
Those are spot on lines. We're seeing the muscle of the jaw now.
Yeah, because that's about, like, that's the eraser. From, like, here-ish.
Yeah.
That'd be where your jaw splits with your mouth.
And
There's
actually,
a nifty little
before you
hinge there.
erase everything. I'm sorry, I just didn't want you to erase everything because we can actually use some more of those lines.
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Julia runes. We
Yeah.
are summoning Julia.
We are approaching Julia.
That giant X that's just from corner to corner of the whole face. The bottom part of that X that like forms a triangle. Those two lines are like the smiling lines next to the nose.
And I've just realized with how I have this drawn, this is definitely not a centered rectangle. That or I didn't draw the lines in well. Okay. So the nose is, like, the top of the nose is here?
Yeah. Perfect.
And I guess that means that this line is where our eyes are going to be eventually.
Yeah, the bottom of them. Yeah.
That's obviously not what they're going to look like at the end, but
No, done, finished.
This is the person. Guess who it is based on this?
This is like low budget 1930s sci-fi attempt at making a robot. Like this is in the background in Metropolis somewhere.
I can see now that the mouth part needs to go way down. Thank goodness for the transform tool.
yep.
Oh, we're doing this on paper next time, by the way. I forgot to tell you.
Perfect. Oh, that's a lot of work.
I mean, I do have a dot cam,
Ooh.
and I can connect it to my computer, and I can share the screen in Discord of the dot cam.
Mm. I worked out the other day. I have an old camcorder back ages ago when I used to do videos, and I found out that I can actually use my Elgato capture to capture the image from that, and the quality of it is way higher than my webcam. So
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to do streaming my traditional art. It's just been hard to figure out what I need for what electronic bit I bought used because cheap.
Yeah, finding the right cord to get things connected, especially if you're dealing with older stuff, is
Yeah.
a
Bad
pain.
text and
This
oh my
is why whenever I'm dealing with a tech company and it's like if you're making modern tools, you need to use standard connectors.
no proprietary connectors. They need to make money.
Well, they won't be making money off of me if that's the case.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I learned technology advice from a 70-year-old man in Japan. So the reason I worked out this webcam thing was because I found there's a guy called David Bull. He's a Japanese woodblock carver, by which I mean he does it in the Japanese style. I think he's Canadian, but he moved to Japan like 30 years ago. And he just streams running a shop on Twitch, and he has a YouTube channel doing lots of things. You might have seen I did the rounds on the internet not too long ago of like video game characters done in the sort of traditional Japanese style. There's like a Mario one with like, I'll get pictures anyway. He did those, but he streams on Twitch, and it's great seeing somebody who's 70 streaming on Twitch who then mentions that his mother's in chat. It's just as I was thinking, oh, it's great to see people of different ages here. Oh, that's my mum. What? But yeah, suddenly like a menu appeared on the stream as he was sort of fiddling around with stuff. And it turns out that he has the exact same camcorder as me. And I'm like, you can stream with that? So I looked it up, and yeah.
I love when you get very useful, unexpected information.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a good time. Sorry, I'm probably talking over the instructions.
Yeah, that's what streaming is for us.
Talking over each other.
Yeah. I need the nose. If you think of the nose tip as a diamond, but where the bottom lines of the diamond are the most prominent. Yeah. Just more squished from the top and the bottom.
Okay, so are the long bits towards the tip of the nose or towards the bridge of the nose?
Which?
Okay, so we've got sort of a
Yeah.
Shape. And in English, we would just call this particular shape a kite.
A kite. Yeah, I can see that's a kite. Useful.
Oh yeah.
That's bloody useful.
Also, mathematicians wouldn't call this a diamond. We would call this a rhombus.
Yeah.
Rhombus.
I was just thinking
A
when
Roomba.
Why aren't rhombus rhombus shaped? That's what we need to know.
they could get it into all of the corners.
Oh, I'd see a rhombic dodecahedron just rolling around.
But yeah, I was just saying diamond because I thought if you think of a diamond, it's that direction up. The bottom of the nose tips, just color in like half an oval for the nostrils. The bottom of the nose is pretty obscured by shadow.
Some shadows in here.
Yeah.
And again,
Sorry
since
for.
I've been drawing in red, everything just looks.
Oh, it's bloody nose. Oh no.
Yeah, a little bit.
They got punched.
Probably because of those squinty eyes.
Yeah. Don't trust a person with these eyes.
Every time my brain processes the eyes, it just makes me like laugh.
I mean, I'm assuming that's not what actually the eyes look like, but placeholders.
I
Who
know,
knows?
but still, this is a very funny face.
I do love the face. It's sad to see it go.
It will live on forever in the VOD.
Yep.
On the top of the nose, on each side, there's this line that goes out almost like the lines we have already, the perforated lines, or what it's called. But they do a bit of a swoop.
Swoop up or swoop in?
Swoop up, but less
Less
extreme.
pronounced than that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back to the
Okay,
pronounced thing
and
again.
Wait. Curvature, less curvature. There we go.
A slight curvature.
So when you're talking the top, do you mean up at the top of the bridge of the nose where the eyes are, or down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that line actually is there as well, but it's if you put your finger next to the inner corner of your eyes, there can be this like protrusion where the bridge of the nose meets the eye socket.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of line I'm thinking about. So it's further up and goes about halfway out the other line. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm guessing that's on both sides?
Yeah.
I'm going to be drawing yet another very tired-looking gentleman, aren't I?
That first line you drew that I corrected you on, if you move that down to where the top of the nostril starts, so it's the smile lines, but it has the perfect curvature.
Perfect curvature.
Yes.
Is it hyperbolic or elliptic?
I'm stealing words here because they're useful.
I mean, that is how we do this, Christi. We're always stealing words.
I mean, that's just art, really, isn't it? Just you desperately trying to find some words that make sense to translate the things you're seeing into some sort of useful construction.
I mean, it's also just part of,
Language.
bilinguality.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
What
I like
is this word? I don't care. It's mine now. I use it however I want.
I also like bilinguality as well. It's quite a fun. If that's not a word, it should be. Well, it is. I understood what you meant.
Yeah, it's bilinguality.
If the meaning is understood, the word is correct.
Exactly. That's how this works, right?
Yep.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly how language works.
Usage is the arbiter of language, and that is it.
Dictionaries are just recording what people are already doing.
Yeah. Dictionaries are field notes. That's it.
I like that. The eyes is like your
The eyes are
standard
perfect.
when you practice drawing eyes as a teenager. This is the eye that you draw.
Oh yeah. I got that immediately. I don't know if the other two got it, but I got you.
I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was practicing drawing eyes as a teenager, they usually looked like this.
Right.
So this is
If
an
you
anime, right?
practice drawing a real person's eye, like your idol or something.
I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm trying to think who would have eyes like that.
I don't
eye.
know.
Steve
This is
Buscemi?
very-
I wouldn't call that the perfect eye.
These lines are way too
Yeah.
big.
So many eyes, like, everywhere in my notebooks.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what it is about eyes.
I think almost everyone starts with eyes.
I mean, they're fairly basic shape as long as you're not trying to make two of them that look the same.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about things like bones, how to hit, and that's sort of one of the things like how do hands work. You've got so many things going on here, but no, this is just a weird oval shape with a circle in it.
Mhm.
Especially in notebooks where it's just the one eye and nothing else.
Have fun with your old jewelry.
I mean, just an eye and then scribbles around it and just like making random triangles and patterns and such. Like, not quite actual doodling, but because that looks pretty, just making a whole entire mess.
Yeah. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's like baking.
And then just scribbling it all out.
Yeah. Because you can erase in like a maths folder book thingy. That paper doesn't want to do that.
Which is a shame because you do a lot of erasing in mathematics.
Yep.
Yeah. The eyes needs to be a lot closer. Like half the distance between the swoopy lines and the eye.
Alright, let's lasso. That.
Yes.
Crooked. And then the other eye.
Yeah. And then if you make an almost straight line, it's okay if it's a straight line, but if you could just make it a tiny bit rounded from each corner of the eye, then the bottom is the eye bags.
I'm never going to guess who this is.
I mean, right now,
Sorry?
I mean, right now, this is sort of we're making Frankenstein's monster by putting all these pieces in the exact location.
I was just about to say clay.
I mean, to be fair, last time at this point, we had already landed at, like, Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Nicolas Cage.
Job.
Nicolas Cage, Daniel Radcliffe.
Are the same.
Yeah, the same person, turns out. Daniel Radcliffe is being
Found
played
another
by Nicolas Cage this entire time.
Bet you didn't know that. Put that on your next top 10 conspiracy theories list.
What I meant is the actual eyeball from each corner of the eye. That's where that line goes.
That?
Inside the eye.
Oh, what? Inside the eye.
Yeah, so you're cutting off the bottom of the eye and that turns into the eye bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's plastic surgery.
Hence the dotted lines.
Yeah. Perfect.
Whoever they are, they're tired. It's not Daniel Radcliffe again, is it?
So, design that.
It's just a new rule of this stream to have always have one Daniel Radcliffe in it.
Someone has to choose Daniel Radcliffe every time. I'm just going to pick a different picture of Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes.
Just him in different roles he has played.
Or different ages and
Yeah.
beard, no beard.
Get that picture of him standing with a burning tree, screaming.
What now?
Yeah.
So there was like a photo shoot thing done with the Harry Potter, the three main stars. So Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and why can I never remember the third guy's name? The guy who played Ron.
Ron.
Rupert Grint.
Yeah. And so you've got
Ron Weasley.
Emma sort of twirling around in this like looks sort of like a library area, and then you've got the other gentleman's like sitting serenely playing a guitar, and there's Dan standing in his pajamas and a like bathrobe type thing, holding a tree, just screaming.
This is the best
picture.
This is the best picture.
It's like a small it's like a branch. So he's got like a branch in his hand, and he's just kind of like,
Yeah.
ah!
It's on stream if you want to see it. It is the best picture. And I think it sums up Daniel Radcliffe quite well.
It sounds like it. I don't know what this is called, but if you get it, you know what I mean. Like
By definition.
the from the top of the eye, you go straight inwards to where the nose bridge would be. There's a shadow that's under the eyebrow and is also like merging into the eyebrow.
Okay, so basically there's like a brow ridge.
Yeah. And from there starts both the eyebrow and that prominent shadow. And it goes right down to the upper eyelid, which is just like a tiny parallel line to the eye.
I'm just gonna shade in those bags a bit.
It's really funny that this has turned out to be plastic surgery, because this person is what a lot of people would see as the perfect face.
Not when we're done with them.
Mona Lisa?
No.
Someone-
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I mean,
Is that just a general exclamation? I get it. I feel like that quite a lot. But
No, it's like I can like vaguely remember like a post somewhere about like
Oh,
celebrities that have like the ideal face, and I
yeah.
cannot remember who was on that list anymore.
This person is like on top of that list lately, like the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's like the ideal face in like terms of like proportions and everything.
Yeah, and symmetry and
Yeah.
today's age. Um, it's perfect what you've done. Just under what you've just drawn on the inner half of the lines, make more shadow under there. So like from the eyebrow line to the upper part of the eye, that's all dark.
You've seen this face
Give
before.
this person like murder serial killer face.
Kiro has seen this face before, and I believe that she deserves compensation.
On the inner, sorry,
On the wanted poster.
not where eyeshadow.
It's Thaddeus Ghibli.
I mean, before he got the eye patch, maybe.
Naturally, yes. And the moustache, I guess.
And the general everything.
Yeah, and the appearance that he has.
The general everything. I love that.
You know how, like, sometime before you reach middle age, you just, like, shed your entire skin and become a different person? Yeah, that.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm
would do
looking
that.
forward to that.
If the bounce, have fun with the budget. Have a good time, miss. Thanks for popping in.
Bye, Maze.
Bye.
The outer part of this shadow you need to erase. It's only on the inner part of the eye. From like the, yeah, exactly. And the eyebrow hairs start from where the nose bridge is. Yeah.
Lots of eyebrow.
Lots of eyebrow. And now we are basically done with the face part.
Yay! Now time for the rest of the body.
What do you think
Yes, please
Now,
draw this entire
considering
body.
I don't have a whole lot of room down there, you're gonna just have to deal with that.
You're dancing.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Now this looks like an
Oh.
obscure Nintendo property that I don't.
It's a me character.
This is the first draft for Nintendo Mii's.
We're not even the first draft.
No, Dr. Kaushi was brain training. That's if anyone's played that game. That's what I'm looking at here. Dr. Kawashima's brain.
Brains in the name, so no.
That or it's from Katamari.
Katamari, that was it. I remember Damacy. I couldn't remember Katamari. It's the prince. The ideal person. From
God, that does actually sort of look like the king's face.
yeah, it does.
You just need to put some
Yep.
boobs on either side of his head.
What? Do you know, honestly,
and you get
not
the celebrity.
Turns out this entire time you were drawing the prince from Katamari Damacy.
Yeah.
I guess we never meant like we never specified that the people we're drawing have to be real. Like
Maybe for next time. Because then I already have ideas.
Oh yay.
Because I was like maybe gonna do some people from video games that have been obsessed with lately, but I was like, no, I have to do a real
Video game
person.
edition.
Well, I've never seen anything to do with Uncharted, so I'd be happy to do that.
I mean, they look very real, so like I could get away
Yeah.
with it if I just didn't tell you what they're from.
Now
I
this
did.
is a break filler.
I can
I
still change my mind. Can still just Google it.
I did once. I did have an idea. I guess we could do it. I'm not quite sure how it works. But ages ago, I had this idea of doing a thing. It was going to be a video, but I guess streams also work. Knockoff by proxy. And the idea is that you describe a character to somebody, and they have to draw it from your description. But it has to be, you describe Mario or whatever. But you have to describe it in such a way that the person drawing it can't work out what it is, but your description has to be truthful. And so the sort of example that I gave was like, I'll draw. Okay, so it's this big, ferocious sort of beast thing. It's sort of wild, angry beast with wild eyes and sort of huge teeth, and it's got like metal plating, and it's being sort of restrained, and it's just wild. Sort of like if I were to describe it like that, you wouldn't think of Chain Chomp.
Oh yeah, no, my mind went to Bowser, but that's because you gave Mario as an example.
Yeah, that's Chain Chomp's Mario as well. But yeah, something like that where you get somebody else to do a knockoff because they don't even know what it is they're drawing.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
So sort of like Taboo.
Taboo?
So Taboo
Have I
is
reinvented a thing that exists again?
Well, not quite. I don't think in Taboo you're drawing things. So Taboo is a party game where you have to describe it's usually like a concept or a person or something to another person, but there's a list of words that you cannot use. So you are given a card and you have to describe, like, I don't know, Lassie the dog. But there's a list of words that you cannot use that are all very integral to describing what's on the card. And it's hard because once you see that list of words that you cannot use, your brain just sort of goes, great. Those are the only words that I know of to use to describe this person. They're now in my head.
Mm.
But yeah, so just describing a character, but you can't use you can't use things where it's just kind of like that would make this obvious.
Yeah.
The face we have now, if you see that as a triangle without the chin part, no, rectangle, I'm sorry. Then it's like a piece of paper. So like last time, if you cut the edges of that paper on top, that's the hairline.
So about there-ish?
The corners, I'm sorry.
There-ish?
No, but keep the lines, they're good.
Yeah.
About halfway between the lines you made and the top of the piece of paper. It's still the corners though. You just need to snip the corners off.
Which corners?
The top corners.
Of the head that I've drawn?
The entire face rectangle.
Oh.
Yeah, perfect. And that's the hairline.
Okay.
Except it makes a little triangle-y bit down in the middle. Just a little bit where the hair swoops from.
I guess this line here is the one we want to use. So basically, we're just sort of rounding out the head
Yeah.
because nobody actually has a head that is entirely rectangular because skulls are a thing.
What?
And if you do not have a skull, I have questions.
Nobody
If you
told
have
me
more than
skulls
one
were a
skull,
human thing.
if you have more than one skull, I also have questions, but of a different sort.
I mean, maybe I have more than one skull. Maybe it's just, not all of them are mine.
Chibi has many soliloquies to go through.
Exactly.
Alas,
Part of the
poor.
explanation, at least. It's not like it explains what I used them for. It doesn't explain how I got them, but
Yeah.
nobody needs to know that part.
I just like the idea of alas, poor, and then you look, there's like a name tag dangling off it. John. I knew
Is
him
today a
well.
Sunday? That swoosh you're doing now, if you could just move that up. So like it touches the top of the...
Oh, geez.
Yeah, perfect. Then just slap some 50s male hairstyle on this filler and some ears and we're done.
50s hairstyle. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a
Let's
TV
get
presenter
another
kind of style.
generic male hairstyle in here.
Yeah, just slightly more old-fashioned.
You'll be pleased to know that the person I have chosen does not have a generic male hairstyle.
I mean, the
Yeah.
person I have chosen also does not have a generic male hairstyle.
Well, it's not Mr. Uncharted then.
No, it's not Mr. Uncharted. Mr. Uncharted is the most generic male you can think of.
Mm.
If I were to describe Nathan Drake, I would just say draw every male video game protagonist of the last 10 years.
I mean, to be fair, you have to go back a little further to get the really male protagonist with stubble. But yeah.
Hey, if you go back far enough, you get the guy from Alone in the Dark. Before he became that. Because yes, they turned ginger mustachioed gentleman into man with stubble when they rebooted the franchise.
Oh yeah, I remember like googling Alone in the Dark like cover art for some reason, and then just seeing like all these like pixely like painted things, and then just suddenly generic male action game protagonist.
Yep. Literally the same person.
Be careful
Everyone
who
is
you
just
bully in middle school. This is who they could be. Another generic male protagonist.
everyone is destined to become a generic video game protagonist at some point.
To be fair, a lot of the people I knew at school have grown up to look like generic video game protagonists. So
I mean, there is a reason why a lot of like male video game protagonists look like that. It's just,
yeah.
There was a picture floating around of some of the possible new stars for, I don't even remember if it was The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. And it was just kind of I had one of those feelings of like, okay, I can be a little face blind. Like I once saw a picture of like my aunt and cousin and some lady friends of theirs and their daughters, and I just kind of went, I'm related to two of these people, and I couldn't tell you which of these people it is. But this picture of some of the ladies who are all white and blonde, and then some of the gentlemen who are all brunettes with short hair, and it's like,
yeah, I think I've seen the same picture of, or at least a similar one to it, where it's just like these are all of the same person, just all of them.
If they all
Would-
have the same bland personality as well. Good
Yeah,
TV.
probably.
I mean, probably. Like literally the only thing, like I don't watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I don't really care. Like the only part of those series that I sort of sit there and go, yes, this amuses me greatly, is there was, I think it was the Australian version, or I might be mixing things up. There might have actually been 2 instances of this happening with the Bachelorette show, where basically one of the Bachelorettes ran off with one of the other Bachelorettes. Or it's
Good
like
for them.
like in an episode of The Bachelor, where it's like, oh, we've got all these ladies, quote unquote, vying for his attention. 2 of the ladies ran off with each other because they fell in love.
That's amazing.
Excellent.
Love it.
I believe I've seen, or at least read something like that in like a Korean or Japanese version of The Bachelor as well. But
yeah,
that was
I
like,
say it's happened more than once, but I think there
But
was
that
one in
was-
like an Australian one where after the show they got together. Like neither of them got the guy, but after the show they just kind of went, "Oh yeah, we're dating now." It's like, what?
with the one I have in mind, I believe it was like one of the ladies was actually chosen by the Bachelor, and then was like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna take a step back and hey, new lady friends, what would you say if we, At least a lot smoother and more romantic, of course, but still like the same like vibe of like they just
How
were like, nah.
that awkward.
I do like the idea of just walking up to another person and going, "Hey, other bachelorette, do you wanna?" It's like you don't even know their name. It's
Hello.
just, hello, fellow contestant.
But anyway, this is a person.
Yay!
Yeah, person.
I have no idea. Oh,
No,
okay.
absolutely not. Oh, it's Mr. Superman.
It's
yeah,
the Supper
I didn't
Man.
do well, and I took over an hour. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
That's okay.
The Supper Man takes as long as the Supper Man takes.
The Superman.
It's the Supper Man.
Not the Superman.
No Supper Man.
Make me supper.
You can have soup for supper.
So soup, yeah. Yeah, okay, it's Superman, but with soup.
Yeah.
He's super than other ones. That's not going anywhere. Let's just abandon that trail of thought. There we go.
His
Mr.
jaw ended up a little more squarer than it had to be, or maybe it just looks weird because I've still got the little stick figure drawn in at the bottom.
Probably because of that. He has a very square jaw.
Yeah. You need to for the supplements. It's part of the casting choice. You need the square jaw to be a supplement.
Yeah.
Right. Well, who goes next in order to avoid crossover from last time? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I guess it makes sense now for Ragdoll to describe to somebody.
Yeah, I described to Christi last time, so we're good on that as far
I
as
think
crossover.
you need to describe to me, because otherwise Chris will end up describing to me. And wait.
No,
Hold
you
on.
need to describe to me because otherwise Chip will have to end up describing to me, which is what happened last time. Yeah. Okay, so I need to go.
I had the same line of thought, I just said it wrong.
Yeah.
And then...
That's fine. Right, I'm going to speed this. Let's go.
Speed draw. Go.
Speed draw. Oh no. Okay.
Speed draw.
So, okay.
There we go.
Perfect likeness. Okay.
I haven't drawn anything. Let's go.
Okay, let's see. What's the best face we've got to work with here? Okay, so this person has, it's a very rounded face. So it's not circular, but like the yes. Not like that.
Not circular, Chris.
I see we have chosen chaos today.
Don't we always?
It shows chaos.
I'm going to put that as the thumbnail.
Go for it. Heck, if you want to save that on one layer and do a different layer, the actual drawing, I'd be up for that too.
Can do.
I do
Right.
love that face.
It's a very good face.
Right, cool.
Just not the face we're going for.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so the overall face shape, it's very oval, but it's very wide oval. And the bottom of the face is even, and it might just be because of how I've got this angled. I'm looking at her from not quite a 3/4 view, so not quite that rounded, Chris. Bit more oval. Other way. There we go. That's better.
You turned into me.
Right.
Okay.
Deselect the 1 pixel, thank you. Yeah, what direction are they facing?
So the face, okay, so the face isn't directly forward, it's facing a little bit to our left. So you can see her left ear sort of through the hair, but the other one is completely behind her jaw, so we can't see it.
Okay.
It's not like it's not a full 3/4 turn, but it's definitely not full on. So move. Yeah, that's good. That line is good for where the center is. Okay. So, with her face, okay. Her cheekbones are fairly pronounced, and especially with how we've got this turned. So you know with the whenever you do the again practicing in middle school drawing faces, you have that dip down and then cheek whenever you're doing that 3/4. She has enough cheekbone there on the left that it's definitely more pronounced and poking out. No, not cutting in, pushing the line outwards.
Okay. Like that?
Bit bigger and more rounded. So the top line is good, but the bottom line needs to be pushed out a little bit more and more rounded. So where you've got the bottom line connected, you're going to need to move it down a bit. Yeah, so that's better.
Okay, they appear to have the mumps, but let's go.
Like I said, I think it's partially because of how this is turned, but she does legitimately just have like really large cheeks.
Okay.
Whenever I look at her at various angles.
Squirrel.
Okay.
Is she a chipmunk?
No, she is not a chipmunk.
Oh.
No kind of monk.
Called the chipettes or something.
Okay, let's see.
Are they doing like a film of? It's not Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's another one. They're doing like a reboot of it, but like one of them is 3D animated and the other one is 2D animated.
What?
I mean, that would be interesting to see.
Interesting.
But I don't actually know what you're talking about there, Chris.
It's
okay.
Rescue Rangers or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Rescue Rangers.
Well, that's a blast from the past.
I loved that movie.
Okay, so I chose her because I was thinking, oh, this is a fairly distinctive face, and now I'm sitting here going, how do you describe this face? Okay. So she's got a fairly wide smile. which also might be contributing to the tight-lipped smile. So wide as in the mouth is
Cheese, grommet.
stretched fairly far, and that might also be contributing to the bump on the side, because large mouth, wide smile. The mouth is not open though.
Okay.
But she doesn't. The lips are closed tightly, but it doesn't look like a tight-lipped smile because her eyes are definitely smiling. But yeah, no teeth showing. And you see the face again.
That's cursed.
Yeah, that is a little cursed. And
Don't
then
worry about it.
inside of those eyes in the smile, you have more eyes in the smile, and inside those eyes, you have more eyes.
It just keeps
Fractal
going.
smile eyes.
Oh no. That's horrible.
Yep. And now it's in your brain.
Get it out of there.
And inside that is another brain.
No. We're not doing this. I did not sign up for an existential crisis.
Okay. The line you've got for where her lips are is pretty good. She also has a fairly pronounced that upside down V shape that goes from your dimples up towards the top of your nostrils.
Oh,
That's
right,
very pronounced. And that's going into fairly far into that cheek area that we've drawn off to the side.
This sounds like a clown mask now. To me, anyway.
And it's going into the cheek area.
So that bump that we've made because of the turn, like I said, I think that bump is partially there because of the angle, and partially there because of basically because of how she's smiling.
Yeah. Cheeks being pushed up by the smile.
Yeah, so the smile and the dimple like pushes that cheek area up, and then that sort of results in that bump.
Look at that bump.
Yeah, look at that
That
bump.
bump. That bump. That lovely facial bump.
Yeah?
So you're going to want to take those lines and connect them a little further away from the mouth. So the lines are going to her dimples, not to the edges of her mouth.
Can we get something straight? What are dimples?
Several things, I think.
Because I think some people think it's the sort of fold on the corners of the mouth, and other people think it's the bit on the other side where it's like the muscles are pushing in towards the mouth.
It's
a bit in the middle.
I have a canvas. I could probably draw that. Some people think it's that, and other people think it's that.
Yeah,
that second one is
that.
more what I'm going for here.
Right.
The first thing you drew is what I call the lines next to the mouth.
Yeah, it's
The
not
elongated
a
line.
dimple, but I don't know what I would call that. It's just what you do to finish out the mouth when you don't know what else to do.
That's a way to describe it. The classic child drawing mouth.
And it's
Yeah, the line that tells you where you stop drawing the line.
just
Yeah. That.
yeah, exactly. That's the exact kind of expression. It's not dimples, it's the lines.
I like that new terminology.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Because I don't know how muscles work.
You're drawing a face.
Yeah. And like, the lines that are, like I said, starting from right above where the nostrils are, and it goes right into the dimple.
Oh, right, okay.
and the nose itself, it's a very wide and flat nose. Like the bridge it's not a very high bridge. No, Chris, Chris, don't do that.
It's all right. You said legal gentleman, right?
So the nostrils are still facing downwards, Chris, and it's still a nose shape. It's just wide and flatter, and the bridge is not high at all. In fact, the bridge is almost non-existent. It's just sort of
Sorry.
or at least from this angle, the bridge looks almost non-existent.
So what is that about the nostrils? It's flat? Oh, you mean like the bridge is flat?
Yeah, the bridge is flat, and then
Right,
the tip
okay.
of the nose is also sort of flattened down, and the nostrils are wider to the side.
I always do noses too big.
The size of noses I will never understand. It's
Well, the problem is they grow in feet.
I mean, it's just like one of those things, like just like with the length of the neck, that like every time I think I have it down, I actually look at like a person and it's like, no. It's supposed to be longer or it's supposed to be shorter. And then it completely messes with me again until I think I have it again and I still don't get it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
also with necks, it's like, is this wide enough or not?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, this should be thin enough. And then you look at an actual person's face and you're like, I've drawn in a pencil. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that. You have that or that. And there's no in between.
And neither of them are right.
Like, it's one of those things where it doesn't make sense. It's like you think you get like where like the muscle begins that connects your neck to like your shoulders, and then you look at an actual person and just no. Just I mean,
No.
there are lots of like weird proportions like that. Like it's almost like all people are different and there is no generic standard.
What?
Whoa.
Okay, so now that you've got
Not
the
having
nose
any of that
drawn,
wet liberal nonsense on my stream.
let's fix those lines that are those V lines connecting to the nose. They're straighter than what you have.
Okay.
And then also halfway down, the apparent curve is actually the opposite of what you have, and I think that's partially because again the cheek is sort of
Oh yeah, I
going
see. Yeah.
over that
Yeah.
line, because again of the big cheeks and wide smile.
Yep, makes sense. Again, drawing these lines just makes them look quite old. They might be old. I don't know.
It does like throw off my entire like sense of age whenever like those lines are drawn, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, I guess they're an old person now, but no, almost everyone has those lines.
I mean, to be fair, this is an older picture. Well,
Yeah,
a
but
picture
still.
of them older. I'll show you an older and younger picture, and hopefully between the two of them, you'll be able to recognize who this is.
Unlikely, but
Not Queen Elizabeth II, is it?
Okay.
You didn't say no.
Lips. Yeah, so the lips are. So the lips are present. They're not very wide. I don't know how to describe this. Normal-looking lips. No.
Think of lips and draw them.
It's
I've drawn
the
lips.
same as before. Like there's some area on the edges where the mouth is there, but the lips aren't visible.
Yeah, yeah. There's the like the red part of the lips, and then there's just the line caused by the fold of skin. It
Yeah.
sounds bad, but this is what it is.
Everyone has folds of skin.
Okay, I've drawn lips.
Regardless of how upsetting that makes you feel.
Using this as reference, point out what's wrong. That might be a better way of doing it. Just get a thing down and then go. Spot the difference.
I'm assuming that's supposed to be like nose bridge. So it's a little, like I said, the nose bridge is really faint because the nose is really close to the face as far as I can tell. At least from that angle, it looks really close to the face.
Okay, so.
But that's not a bad line for... you mean the lips. Okay, yeah, so the left-hand side is fine. The right-hand side, pinch it in a little more, I think. And make that bottom lip a little thinner. So move that bottom line up a bit. Yeah, that looks better.
Problem is, I keep trying to snap into like a 45-degree angle way of drawing, and that makes half of the features point far more to the left than everything else.
Yeah, like I said, it's sort of an odd angle we're looking at, and actually also the head. This image, the head's tilted down a little bit, but we're not going to worry about it.
Okay.
I tried.
So, do you want
now
eyes first, or do you want glasses?
Oh, glasses. Yeah, glasses. They frame the eyes.
So she has. So the glasses are circular, but they're not pushed up towards her eyes. In fact, the bridge of her glasses is actually sort of down near the bottom of her nose, sort of where you've got the, like right above where you've got the lines there connecting to the nose. That's where the bridge of her glasses are.
I know who this is.
Can I?
What?
I think I know who this is.
Why does everyone know who this is?
And I think I'm looking at exactly the same picture.
What?
I think we've chosen the same person.
Oh no.
With the same picture. Are the initials ST?
ST, no.
No, okay, different person. Okay, well, in that case, we have a very similar picture. Glasses in the same position, rounded, angled. Yeah, interesting.
Yep. Yeah, well, when I say rounded, I mean the lenses are circles. So the bridge of the glasses is like right above where the nostrils are.
This is weird.
The lenses are just circles.
Okay, well, whoever's drawing Chibi, use this as a starting point for when I give you mine.
Sure.
I ask about the initials.
Sure.
Is it WG?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Awesome.
For some reason, all my brain can think of as Will and Grace. That's not helpful.
People.
Bigger or smaller?
A little hard to tell. Like I said, this image is tilted a little bit, so the lenses are tilted forward a little bit. So they're not like...
Okay, yeah, okay, I know what you mean.
Like, she's wearing them sort of more like readers.
Yeah. It's just
so
uncanny how
like
similar.
Right up her face. Like, we can see her eyeballs. Like, in this image, her eyeballs aren't obscured by the glasses at all.
Okay,
you can see her eyeballs. That's not very healthy.
The entire thing.
She's doing the Dumbledore.
Yeah, well, like I said, they're readers. Well, she's wearing them like they're readers. I think she does need them to see, but because of this angle hedge... And I have a feeling this is also because of, like, flash photography and glasses don't mix well. It's sort of funny.
Oh, the old
there
anime
was a
thing.
family photo we took like 10 years back or so. And basically a good 20 minutes was spent with the photographer going, you head up, you chin down, you chin up, you chin down, you chin up, you chin down. Because all of us wear glasses.
Is it that person?
I don't know who this is. I'm just still astonished that my picture looks so similar.
I think I know who this is with the like added hint of the initials. I don't know much about her, so I can't really give hints or anything like that.
No, let's go for the drawing. It's
Okay.
comments.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, we'll leave the connecting to the earpieces. Yeah, like you can see on the what's on our screen, the right side of the face, that where that goes back to the ear, but the ear is behind her hair here, so you can't really
Okay, cool.
see much of the ear. I mean, you can see where the ear is, but it's just like, oh,
Oh,
there's a bit of
Flynn.
flesh there. Like, no.
We draw in Shrek.
I don't think she was in Shrek. She might have been. There's a lot of people who were in Shrek.
Yeah.
No.
Old Lady Shrek.
Okay, so like I said, from this angle with the picture, her eyes are positioned above where her glasses are, because again, she's wearing the glasses like readers. She has fairly prominent bags under her eyes and very light eyebrows. Like you can barely see her eyebrows. Actually, I don't even think you can see her eyebrows.
My favorite word is more like folds than eyebrows.
Yeah, I mean, we've got her eyelid fold, and then, like I said, her lower lid is more pronounced. And you can definitely see her brow ridge, but there's not really anything in the way of eyebrows there.
Right.
Her hair is very distinctive. Her eyebrows are not.
Is she looking at camera?
She's looking directly at the camera over her glasses.
Eyes wide open, eyes sort of little.
Her eyes are wide open, but like I said, her lower eyelid is very pronounced and a bit baggy, so it comes off as feeling a little squinty. But like I said, I think that's just because of how her eyelid is.
Okay, how much has this driven everybody away from knowing who this is?
Not a lot.
I still have no idea.
I mean, the angle that we've got is a little bit off from my picture, but that's fine. We're working with it.
Apparently, both of the spectators have recognized it, so we're doing something right. I haven't.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
When you get it, you'll definitely go, oh.
I mean, Chris doesn't consume media, so you know.
Yeah.
I might do.
I mean,
I might
I'm
not.
surprised I got it, to be honest.
I tend to know about media without consuming it. So
I think
Okay.
it might be
So,
grown up.
Chris,
also.
you're gonna want to move her head down a little bit, because while
big hair.
the head shape is good, her hair is very tall, so that's gonna take up some room.
You did a me.
Not quite. So where you've got, a little bit under where you've got the top of the head put in, that's where her hairline is, and her hair is a bunch of very small braids.
Mm-hmm. Huh? So, like, explain. in what like fashion?
Okay, so they are very small, very tight braids that are all connecting to her head. So
Hair tends to do that.
You could probably get away with just doing squiggles. I'm not expecting you to draw in braids.
Is it a middle passing?
There isn't really a part. It's just you just sort of see where the hairline ends, and then right from the hairline, that's where the braids are worked in. Now, the braids
go
aren't
up quite
along
high?
her head. It's just that they're all like starting from her head. The hair was sort of put out, and then just a bunch of little small braids. I will. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Chris, do you know what traditional black hairstyles look like?
Not many.
Not many. Okay.
My education in that department is slim.
So none of the hair is really going in front of her face. It's all to the sides and back. I'm okay. So I'm not going to tell you how to draw it, but I'm just going to do a little thing off to the side. Where did my pen go? There it is.
Okay, I think I know who this is now.
Ooh.
I've got the WG.
So if you've got, here's the head, and then got braids.
Cheating! Okay,
so
right.
I'm saying like the ends are all attached to the head. It's not like a French braid where it's along the head. It's just the base is connected.
Like it doesn't help that I can't necessarily visualize this person, but and I don't know how to draw this hair. Here we go. There's a decent hole in my drawing ability that probably should be fixed.
Yeah, braids.
Braids. It's just different hairstyles, you know.
Ways of cheating drawing braids. Probably better.
Yeah, I keep.
And the
every
braids
so
are
often
long.
I see on my Twitter like brushes for like black hairstyles for like braids mostly, and also coils, which are like the very tight one like curls that mostly black people have. And every time I see them, I'm like, I need to download those brushes, and every time I forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the braids are also pretty long. So there's one of them I can see that starts from around her temple and then goes all the way down towards her, to the base of her neck. So it's not like wispy, small braids. It's fairly long. Although I will say I have seen longer.
Annoyingly, I don't know if this is the same thing that's in my head, but again, I can't see the picture, surprisingly. Also, you said it covers up the ear, so I guess there's something going on down there.
Yeah, so it's pushed out of her face, but it does. The braids are coming down. Some of the braids are coming down and framing her face.
Okay,
some of them are pushed backwards.
Yeah,
which is part of the reason why her hair seems taller, because these braids get thick.
Yeah. But yeah, the thing that's kind of interesting about this is that this is actually the hairstyle that, or not this person in particular, but this sort of hair is actually what Claudio's hair is based on in October & Co, with the sort of very thick, sort of chunky wool, as having that sort of same sort of thing going on. But apparently I'm more used to drawing wool than hair. So I think that says a lot about my art.
I mean, there are a lot of like because I watch people who do like doll makeovers, and when they do dolls that have like generally more these kinds of hairstyles, they do tend to use like wool for it, because that has more of the right texture that they're looking for. So you're not completely off.
Yeah, like.
Oh, I'm covering up the face. No, escape.
I think it's called I think it's usually called Type C hair. That's the one that easily results in the really big Afro type hairstyles. It's spongy. Like,
yeah,
you can set stuff on top of it and it won't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 4C hair.
4C?
Yeah,
yeah.
There's definitely like grades in it, but like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, here's some wool.
This really looks like a person.
I mean, that's decent.
I feel like the eyes should be a little.
Yeah. I mean, besides the snake head hair we have now, because her braids are thinner than that, but again,
I don't have time.
you don't have time. We're not going to be going to details.
I have neither time nor
It's been
ability.
almost 2 hours since the start of this.
Yeah, I know.
Great stream.
Anyway, this was part 1 of this
Yeah.
stream.
It'll be
So
fine.
I'm
I'll
just
rapid
gonna
fire through my description. But
post
yeah.
a couple pictures.
Yeah.
She doesn't have eyebrows, does she?
It's Whoopi Goldberg. No, she doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even it's just that picture thing. Because
Oh, and the
here,
cheeks, yeah.
here's
Cheek.
a picture of her younger, assuming that sends. There we go. And she still doesn't really have eyebrows. But yeah, you can sort of see with how her smile goes. That's a very
That's
prominent cheek going on there.
Yeah.
that would. This sounds wrong. I was about to say that her face would make very good sort of study practice, but that makes it sound very scientific and weird. But like it's a very different facial structure to the kind of sort of drawing I'm used to. So I'm sort of
Yeah.
No, actually,
No, I mean, I think you're right, Chris. I mean, that's part of the reason why I went for her face, because I went, oh, Whoopi Goldberg. She has a very distinctive face. That should be easy. And then I looked at her face, and my brain immediately went, I have forgotten all of the descriptive words.
It is odd how this person. This person is a better lookalike than the David Tennant we had last time, but nonetheless, not like she's not getting work. Like the agency knew who she was auditioning for, but
I mean, it's getting more now. It's at least like
yeah.
they're not lookalike for a different actor.
Also remarkable that I managed to get as far as I did into this drawing and say this description is almost identical to the picture I have, and yet these two people look nothing alike.
Oh.
Wow. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun.
Hilarious. I can't
So-
wait to see who you picked.
It's amazing that I was like, this is the exact same picture that I have. Nope.
I mean, I have general face blindness, so whatever.
Right, well, let's see if we can do this then. You ready?
Cool, yeah.
Going.
Okay. So this person is looking slightly to our left. Probably more of an angle than the picture that we saw. 45 degrees maybe. And their head is tilted slightly forwards. And they have glasses resting on the end of their nose. I would say they have. Yeah, I'd say also quite a rounded sort of face. Nothing very sort of extraordinarily distinctive. So they sort of look like they're sort of tipping their head towards you, as if to say sort of like, yeah, see what I did there? Does that make sense?
I'm thinking Malachi.
So the tilt is the other way, as it were. It's honestly trying to draw this is this is not a good angle to rough out. It must be. I've tried drawing this sort of angle before, and it always gets a bit weird. Yeah, so it's sort of like the horizontal one is sort of if you've got the two lines of the head, you've got the first one's like that, but it's tilted more clockwise, as it were. The vertical line is going from sort of slightly bottom left to top right. And then there's that way. And then the horizontal eye line would be dipping down slightly rather than up. That's it.
And I'll just face accordingly.
Yeah. So yeah, now copy pretty much all of Ragdoll's first half of the instructions. in terms of like, you know, cheek lines and thin-lipped smiles. I would say the nose is probably slightly pointier than we had before, but other than that,
Making it a little bit bigger.
yeah.
Can see what I'm doing.
I guess the one difference, I wouldn't say extraordinarily prominent cheeks, but the cheeks are there.
Okay. Cheek.
Cheek.
Now I just have to remember what the fuck you did.
You do that, but not. Is that Mitchell and Webb sketch? I bet you do exactly that, but nothing like it. What if there was a shark, but not?
So a shark.
No, what if there's a shark, but not that, something else?
I cannot for the life of me remember what you made the nose
It's
look
you're
like.
going. It's very good, very good so far.
Cool. Yes, dimples or no dimples, or just a lines.
I would say there's probably just hum lines, and the hum
Okay.
lines lead straight into the sort of the V that goes up to the nose.
Okay, cool.
I like how that's what we're calling them now.
Yeah, scientific name.
Like I say, you can just about see there's sort of dimples there, but it's not prominent enough to put in this. It would look, as we say, the more lines, you know.
I do not remember what the nose looks like. I'm sorry.
It's quite sort of. I guess unlike the previous description, this is probably where I should have realized that it wasn't the same person. The nose is not necessarily like flush all the way down. It's quite straight from the middle of the eyes down to the tip, and the tip is quite pointy. Not very pointy, quite pointy.
I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to noses. Starting out with a Muppet nose. That's just how this is gonna go.
I can imagine this person having a Muppet. Like they're not very Muppetish, but I could see a Muppet of them.
You describe things to me, and then my brain was like, no.
So the end of the nose is sort of, it overshoots. So it's kind of pointy. Like I say, it's pretty much a straight line from the brow diagonally down. And it's sort of, it's long enough to be over from the angle that we're looking, sort of the tip of the nose is over the left-hand side of the mouth, which actually the left-hand side of the mouth is probably a little sharper, a little steeper.
Over the left side of the mouth?
As we're looking at it, so if you just imagine it as a 2D image as opposed to a 3D. So if you were just to take the photograph and draw a line from the end of the nose down, you would hit the left corner of the mouth. But also the left corner of the mouth should probably be a bit steeper.
I feel like I just lost all sense of it. What are you describing to me?
Go to the facially middle of the mouth as opposed to geometrically. So where you would say this is the middle of this person's mouth. There, okay. Now instead of the shallow angle coming up to the left that we have, go up a little sharper and shorter.
Okay, so like this.
That's better, yeah. And just not quite as far.
That.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe move the mouth down a smidge.
Huh?
Maybe move the mouth down just a smidge.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah. Now the nose bridge, like I say, it's sort of a straight line at a steeper or shallower depending on your perspective, at more of an angle than you currently have.
That?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it goes up. The eyes are quite high, actually, on the head. Like they're raising their eyebrows, but honestly, not too far away from the eyes. So, do
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
you know what the odd thing about this picture is that I'm looking at other pictures of this person around them in the Google search. They don't look very much like themselves in this picture. So I picked a good one. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so the nose bridge sort of carries on, but it's the bottom of the nose is relatively pointy, so I would say it's sort of like if you were to go from the tip of the nose that you've drawn, the tip of the straight line, and just sort of like do like an S on its side, then you would get the end of the nose and the nostril. Like that, narrower than that, but like that. That's good amplitude, but higher frequency, shorter wavelength.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're getting it.
Looks wrong.
It's you're getting it. Yes, and then carry on the bridge of the nose up further. In fact, you could probably like take the sort of from the eye line that you've drawn, just sort of select everything below that, and then drag it down, because the head is relatively long now that I'm looking at it. A lot of it's hidden by hair.
Everything. Okay. Everything, like including this.
Hey, another connection between our images. Lots of hair.
Lots of hair, very different sort of hair. I don't know how I'm going to describe the hair. Actually, I know. I guess I have a way to describe the hair, which is you might not get.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that looks good. Okay, so the eyes are eyes. They're quite wide open.
Cool.
They're sort of quite wide open, looking at us from the side, as it were, because they're looking. The face is tilted to their right, our left, but they're looking at us from the side. So the eyes are sort of pointing up to the left, as it were. Their line is the one on the left is higher than the one on the right, as it were, because of perspective, or because of the tilt of the head. So yeah, the eyes should be pointing at a 45-degree angle, given the where the head's facing, but they are looking to their left, so they're looking at us. I guess I should have asked you whether you wanted to do the glasses first. Yeah, getting there.
No, I didn't.
Take the left eye and drag that up a bit, again because of the angle.
That's the entire thing.
Is it worth? I might ask you to do another drag after you've done this. Okay, yeah, that's
Cool.
getting there. Yeah, and now select all of the facial features and push them further to the left, so much closer to the side of the head.
One step to the left. Take it back now, y'all. Cha-cha real smooth.
Okay, yeah, getting there.
Face is much more. You see what I did there now.
Yeah, that's the sort of you see. Yeah, okay, so other than shaping the eyes to fit the perspective, that's just a matter of knowing how eyes work in perspective, and I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah. I don't even know if I could do that if you gave it to me.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I don't know. I would say that the sort of eyes taper to a point on the right, so they sort of get bigger as they go to the left because of the way that eyelids work. So sort of like a V going. Sort of, it sort of cuts off. I don't know. It just depends on drawing style or how you see 3D objects and stuff.
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay, eyebrows. Let's do that just to get the facial structure in. So the
Yes.
eyebrow on the left, it goes from. There's like 45-degree line that goes from where the bridge of the nose is in the middle of the eyes, straight up, and it almost cuts across the eye. So maybe the eye should be further up and to the right. Possibly, now I think about it. And that's just the angle of the eyebrow. So they're sort of lifting their eyebrow.
Is that what I need to do? I don't know anymore.
Yep, let's get in there. A little shallower. It's like I say, it's almost a straight line, 45 degrees.
Is this a meme?
This is not a meme, no.
It will be.
Yeah, well, yes, I'll make this a new emote.
Please don't. Please don't immortalize my drawing like that. Like that?
No, like 45 degree. Like it would be difficult to drive a car up it, but it would be possible if you had good tires. That's what I mean. Very, very steep, but drivable. I guess I should ask, do you know what 45 degrees means? Because otherwise, me keep saying it over and over again. Okay. 45, like, from flat to vertical, halfway.
Okay. Hold on. We have a straight line. We have a horizontal line. Where's the 45 degree?
Halfway between the two.
There.
So you've lifted it halfway up. A little shallower than that.
There.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. And you keep that going up, that's the eyebrow. And it sort of, it hooks down just before it gets to the end of the head.
Don't know if it's
keep it going up like that?
Yep, it's quite pointy.
Okay.
And then it curves down
like
at the end.
That.
Yeah.
There. That's very angry expression almost. Or like devious at least.
Like this is like it's not supposed to be an evil look. But they definitely got, a look about them, and like they're not going to have any of your nonsense. Yeah, and then the other eyebrow is just sort of lifted up.
It's amazing how much an expression changes just by brow placement.
Yeah.
We put a lot of store in eyebrows, which is weird given that I didn't realize that Whoopi Goldberg didn't have any.
Where is it?
Yeah, no, I think you were going the right direction. I would say, yeah, it sort of arches over. I guess the crest is just above the pupil, so it sort of goes up. That's not dissimilar. I would say the eyebrows are medium thickness, but not particularly like bushy or anything.
Like that?
Yeah. That's pretty spot on.
I know what medium thickness means in eyebrows. It's what I give everyone. Except for Rog, because Rog is like massive.
Yeah, no, I'm pencil thin or big slabs. That's all you get. Honestly, yep, you get in this. I probably should also specify how the lips look, but
I mean, or you could just leave it as a dot.
Something like that.
She has a ball bearing pursed between her lips.
I don't know how the eyebrow works.
No, that is good. That's good.
Okay.
Very good, actually. Yes, so lips are very thin, and they stretch all the way to the ends. So none of this lines after the lips thing. Oh, that really just changes the image, doesn't it? When you put lips on.
Something like that.
Thinner, I would guess.
Even
So the thickness of the top lip is fine. It just tapers off a little faster towards the edges, and the bottom lip should just be generally a bit thinner.
always
Elden Ring has
forget that.
Jerboa. Spoilers! Dark spoiling things in chat. Yep, and I'd say that the I guess it's just purely a perspective thing. So just the left bottom lip sort of tucks in a little bit more, as it were. That's it. Yeah. Getting good. We're getting good. This is.
I'm drawing a map.
One just slight thing. I would say that the cheek on the left, can we make that slightly more vertical? So sort of push it in by the eye, so that it comes in a little sharper by the eye, and then just sort of push everything in. That's yep.
Like this?
It comes out a little bit more. There's a bit more of an angle by the eye, but other than that, the line's good. Yeah.
Who is this? Wait, hold on.
I'd be surprised if anyone gets it, but this is not a massive celebrity, but it is somebody we have definitely talked about.
Okay, then it's not the person who I'm thinking of, if it's not a massive celebrity.
It's somebody we've talked about before and shared pictures of before, so I thought it was it was something, that wouldn't be off limits. So the V lines that go up to the nose, and they sort of go into the lines, carry them on down a little bit. So like straight down. No, straight down.
Straight. Oh, okay.
It's a little bit of sort of age, a little bit of sort of. That does give a bit of an impression of a ventriloquist dummy. Now I've said that.
It does, doesn't it?
This next point is probably not going to help that matter. The chin, sort of it
has
sort of it comes up. Yeah, it comes up to meet those lines, but then sort of. I don't want to call it a jowl, but it's sort of on the right-hand side, it comes up slightly to meet the line and then sort of dips back down and then comes up to the ear. So it's like a sort of and down and out. That probably made no sense. So it's quite a shallow line. The chin is pointing out. It's not incredibly sharp, but it's sort of not. It's ovalish, I guess. But we're back to ovals.
Ovals.
Yeah, so a little slimmer oval, so sort of like it's coming up a little faster on the right, as it were.
I don't think it's this person, but they look very much like a specific person.
I mean, I guess I've already given you the initials. It doesn't point out that much. It sort of bring. You had the line right. It's just it had to come on. It had to sort of start coming up a little sooner when it from left to right. So it's just a little smaller.
That's just. Oh, like there?
Yeah, that's better. And then it just sort of comes up and then dips down and then comes back up again. So that you can sort of see the chin poking out, as if you imagine that sort of like ventriloquist dummy sort of face.
Yeah.
Like the cheeks and the jowls are sort of marking that out, and then the chin sort of poking out from that gap, as it were.
There? Is that what you're telling me?
No, carry on the line for the chin. It goes up a little bit and then dips back down before it can get to the line, the vertical lines coming down from the mouth.
That?
Yeah, not that far. It's just a very slight bump up and then down. Yep, and it's longer than that. It sort of bumps up as if it's trying to reach that vertical line, and then it dips back down again. Not so high. This is the problem with describing. Have you seen what's in my head? Draw that.
Yeah.
Have you considered drawing the picture that's here?
Okay. You draw it up to that line, but not that far. Then goes back down. That's what you're telling me.
But it does that. Okay. Imagine the line that you have, the
Uh-huh.
line that goes from the chin up to the ear, right? Now imagine that somebody has their finger underneath the line, where just below where the vertical line is from the mouth, right? So they're underneath the
No.
jaw. So put your finger on the line from the mouth, the
Oh.
vertical line that's pointing down.
Okay.
Okay.
This.
Move your finger down until it's underneath the jawline.
There.
Yeah. Now imagine you're
Okay.
pushing that line up with your finger. That's what it
Wait.
looks like.
This line or the jawline?
The jawline. Imagine you're pushing the
Okay.
jawline up with your finger and it's like flexible.
So like that.
Yes. But
Okay.
it feels like it's an interrupted curve. So there's just that little bump where you're pushing it up with your finger.
So like that.
A little more, like it's quite concave. And it's thinner. It's a bump where your finger is. This is a slack line. There we go. There we are. That's what I'm looking
We
for.
finally got there. It took us
Yeah.
like 20 minutes, but we're there.
We found a common ground in terms of poking things with fingers.
When in doubt, poke things with fingers.
Yeah. Right. Good. What do we do now? Glasses. Glasses are
Right.
quite big, quite round, and are perched quite far down the nose, I would say. Again, they're below where the eyes are, so they don't intersect with the eyes.
So like there?
Yep.
Halfway?
Yeah, that's fine.
Round? Circle
Yeah,
round
pretty
oval
round. They've got where the what are they called? Arms, I guess. Where the arms connect with the glasses is in sort of like the top corners, so it makes them look more square than they are, but they're pretty round. Not circular, but
So like there's like the thing, and then it would connect to like
yes,
the arrow. Or...
perfect.
Hey, glasses.
I have to remember
Very
how
round.
to fucking drop glasses, I guess.
Yeah, they extend quite far out from the side of the face because of the angle, but that's, you know.
I forgot the initials. It's not GC, right?
No.
Jesus Christ.
It-
Wait. That's how you spell Jesus.
It's Jesus Christ.
Christ.
He's a bit of a geezer.
My brain has melted.
Jesus Christ.
That's pretty good.
That was an Eddie.
Days are amazing.
That wasn't it. That was an Eddie Izzard joke, wasn't it? That's the. Jesus was actually the seventh son of God. It was Azus, Bezus, Caesar, Deezus, Ezus, Hefsus, and Jesus.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
That's a pretty good joke, though.
Accidental jokes.
Right.
Yeah, I would say I'm not going to fiddle around too much with the positioning of the glasses. The fact the glasses are there is what matters.
They're glasses. I'm
They're
not gonna
glasses.
get them perfect. I didn't know how glasses work.
They're looking over glasses. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do hair.
Sure.
Bring the head down. The hair's not huge, but we're going to need a little bit more space. Okay. If this reference doesn't make any sense to you, we're going to have to do more specifics, but Princess Diana. Does that make any sense?
I have an image in my head, but I don't think it's right.
So it's sort of like, how can I describe it? There's a parting. The parting is almost directly above the left eye, and it sort of goes back a little bit. But then it's sort of just a mass of hair being swept back from the parting, as it were. Sort of extends over the side, but generally it's quite round.
Yeah, parting there. That's what you're telling me about
Yeah,
the left
yeah.
eye. And then
And from the
swept back.
I guess that side is sort of swept like away from the camera, but then it will be swept back eventually. So the parting is sort of quite strong in the direction it's looking, but perpendicular, as it were. I'm really bad at explaining things.
Listen, this is just like the last time we did this.
The parting is very strong in the direction it's looking. What does that mean, Chris?
It's very strong.
You know, the way partings look.
It's one of those nonsense sentences.
Yeah. More people have been to Berlin than I have.
Like, okay, hold on. If you have like a regular person's hairline, it goes kind of like that.
You
And
cannot
now-
see you can't see the headline at all.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's dipping below that. There's a kind of sweep that sort of dips below that and sweeps up, and then more hair comes in to do the same.
Oh no, we're getting the
Pretty-
swoops up again.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the angle of the sort of fringe going over the head is.
I was
22 and
gonna
a
say
half
it's like
degrees.
mom hair, but then
Yeah,
Princess Diana, it does make sense that moms would have that haircut in the 90s.
Yeah. Mum hair makes sense. I got yeah. Okay, draw a line from where you have intersected the head with the hair in the top left.
There.
Yeah. Draw a line from there pretty much down to where the top of the ear would be. Actually, even to slightly lower than that. Yes, to where the middle of the ear would be. Sorry, the other ear. Across the face.
Oh, okay. Wait, across the face? Or like...
Yeah, but not intersecting with the face. A straight line. Shallower?
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying.
That yeah,
Here we
and
go.
that
There.
pretty much, yeah. Okay, so that is like the fringe line, as it were. And then hair is sort of going in that direction and then swooping up, and then more's coming in and swooping up. Yeah. Like, it doesn't really dip below that line.
Okay.
It's just going along the line and then swooping up. Or swooping back from their perspective.
That is very much Diana hair.
Hey. Help.
You see
I
this
would
person
know
before.
Diana hair in Danish. That's just part of culture.
Okay, so it doesn't go below this line, so it doesn't go like that. Good, like, but it swoops up.
Yeah, it just follows the line and then swoops up. From left to right.
From... Oh, okay, so like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, not that that makes more sense, but...
Physically speaking, it just sort of comes up from the head. It then goes to follow the curvature of the head backwards, and then it swoops up a little bit.
Think that?
Yeah.
That what you're telling me?
Maybe think hairspray.
That what you're telling me? Please tell me that's what you're telling me.
Pretty much, yeah, but it doesn't go out that far.
Okay.
So it's quite round. The silhouette is pretty round, generally speaking. And it sort of goes all the way from like the middle of the neck around. I guess a little.
Lost my mind.
Honestly, I knew this would either be really simple or a real pain in the backside describing this hair, because I just look at it and think that's hair.
Right.
You know, it's hair-looking hair.
Yeah. So this sort of like. Okay, where the parting is. You remember when I said do an S shape for the nose?
Yes.
Flip that upside down, so it's going up first. And do those squiggles from the parting. From left to right. And it should give you an idea as to the direction the hair's going.
Think that?
No. From where the parting line is, like multiple squiggles going along it, or coming out from it, but big ones. No, like a big S, and then another big S above that, and then that should hopefully give you an idea. And keep further the parting line going back from their head, as it were. So starting at the front of the head and then working your way back. More horizontal. like the nose, horizontal. So it's like the hair swooshes, it comes up from the parting, it swooshes down and then comes back up, and then comes up from the parting, swooshes, comes down. Yeah, like that. Not that big, but like that. And then another one sort of above that, as it were.
Dolphin?
Sort of further, physically further back from... Not that far. It's like going along the parting. So from the front of the parting, further back.
Why
From the
this is
front,
making
from
sense to everyone but me.
Do we know what a parting is?
Yeah,
Like, you know the line of the parting on the
Apparently
head? You know the line of the parting on the head? You have the front where it meets the face, and then it works its way backwards over the head, right?
Like there? Is that what you like there?
What?
I don't know what you're telling me. What
Okay.
what do you mean? Tell me what you mean.
Okay,
Let me
okay.
look into your head.
Let's work purely flat geometry. Okay, you see where you've drawn the shape of the head, and there's a part where it meets the hair. If you continue that line on, that is pretty much where the parting is for the hair.
Okay.
Okay, along that line, coming out of it, I want several S shapes, each of which start at that line and work their way to the right.
Okay. So like that.
Yes. They don't go that high. They work their way along the line. So they start at the line, but some of them start further along the line.
Like not at the same point.
Yeah, they start at different points, going further and further along the line. It might help if you make the first one slightly smaller.
Okay. Like
That's good.
yeah. This.
Yep. Now do another one above that. Yep. And then keep it the same. So don't make it sharper at the end. Keep it basically copy and paste, as it were. It's just the hair swooping up from the parting, coming down, and then having a little flick at the end. I really should have focused much more on the silhouette than all of this nonsense.
It happens.
The hair goes again. Just keep you keep flattening it to try and follow the headline. I just want that S to keep going. The hair goes above the skull.
They had hairspray.
No, that.
It pops up above. It pokes up. I want the hair bigger than the head. Like I say, the line, the very faint line that you drew, like the beret line that you've drawn above the head, that is where the hair should be. That is pretty good.
They are.
Eventually, it will get up there, but you just need to work your way up, and I think that's fine. We've got that. And then you have on the outside, there's no sort of sharp flick or anything like that. It just carries on as a sort of big semicircle on the side of the head. And that, like I say, that goes all the way around and around further below the ear until it reaches the neck, pretty much at the where the neck meets the shoulder, as it were. A bit lower.
Reach the shoulder.
I guess there's a little flick at the bottom. Not quite as wide. A little wider at the bottom, but the right width pretty much all the way down. Okay, yeah, we're getting there. Okay, and now on the other side of the parting at the top. How do I
I feel like
describe
I've
this?
seen, but I
Yep,
don't know
okay.
if it's just because I've walked into a coffee shop and someone's gotten angry.
Okay, there's a little bit more. It sort of pokes out. It's sort of almost flat on the top, not quite. And it sort of pokes out and then comes back in again. So if you... Do you know what? The line you did for the eyebrow, that really sharp line that took a while to properly explain, it almost follows that.
This.
So if you very roughly... The left eyebrow, the very sharp angle on the left eyebrow, if you just carry that on a little bit. Keep it going. Keep it going. A little steeper than that. Okay, now curve that around.
To
the right.
this?
Like, no, curve, a slow curve. So keep going in that direction, but curve to the right.
Oh, okay, like this?
Yep, yeah. Shallower curve. So bigger circle, as it were. Bigger? A little
Big
bigger?
hair.
Like that, okay. Now, before it reaches the hair, keep it traveling sort of up the head a little bit. A little bit before that. So there's just a little bit. You can see the other side of the parting beyond. It doesn't really curve back up. It just sort of flattens out. No, keep it going. You can see it keep going, but it doesn't curve back up. It just goes from the curve and then just keeps going in a straight line. Not a flat line, a straight line. It's angled up.
Okay, hold on, like that?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's angled up.
What do you mean with that?
It's that, but it's angled. Yeah, that. But in between those two, yeah. There we are. Okay. Now, the only other thing I would add, and it's probably not worth it at this point, is like an indication that, you know that line that you drew like right across the head above the eyebrow that indicates the hairline?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could extend that a little further into the big old semicircle we just drew. So that it looks like there's sort of an overhang.
Overhang on the hair.
Like that? Is that what you're saying?
No, just keep it going up and then it's going to curve around underneath itself so you can't see the end. So you just keep the line going and then stop. Not too far. Just like halfway, yeah. Okay. I think that's probably as good as we're going to get. But she also has an ear poking out of the hair.
Dying to see this hair.
Like I say, I just look at it and go, that's a Diana hair. But
oh, yeah.
Like I said, the hair's covering the top half of the ear. But there's a lobed bottom part with an earring.
I also only know this person.
I feel like you should know this person. We talked about them not too long ago.
But it's not who I've seen them as from the start.
Anyone want to take a guess? Do you know?
God.
Now that I've stopped throwing unintelligible geometry at Chibi.
I was thinking Glenn Close.
Nope. I'd say there's a Scandinavian connection.
Oh, I know who it is.
What?
It's Sandy Toxvik.
It's Sandy Toxvik.
Who?
Yay!
Oh, okay.
It's Sandy Toxvik. I think you did very well, given that I couldn't communicate anything to you.
The only reason I didn't see it as Sandy was because I already saw it as Glenn Close.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, that's actually pretty good.
It is.
I never knew she had Diana hair.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't have thought of it immediately, but then when I came to describe it, I'm like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean about S's in hair? You might not. It might be
Yeah,
how I see it.
I can see it. I just would have never like myself described it as
Yeah.
such. I mean I can describe for shit, so I don't know how I would have described it. Probably nothing like
So what we have learned over the course of the last couple of streams of this is that I don't understand how Chibi's brain works, and Chibi doesn't understand how my brain works. So
I don't even understand how my brain works because words don't work with me, just in general.
I described a parting as facing a particular direction. Like, I think we're both as guilty of each other. The way the parting is facing.
Just, you kept being like, do you know what this word means? And I'm like, I thought I knew what this word means. Apparently I just don't.
Also, I also feel bad because I know that when I get enthusiastic, my voice sounds angry, and I don't want it to come across that I was angry at any point.
That wasn't
I was just
that,
like, how can I explain? Apologies if anything I said came off as rude.
trying very hard to like understand something, and it just didn't connect in my brain like what you were going for at all.
I think you did really well. It was just
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons I wanted to do this, is just to see how differently we see different things and how differently we would explain different things.
It's very obvious who this is if you don't have a picture of Glenn Close in your head.
Maybe. And I've forgotten what Glenn Close looks like.
I mean, I don't know who this woman is, but looking at the two pictures side by side, yeah, I can see.
Oh, yeah.
If I hadn't literally sat here and listened to Chris and Chibi go what, back and forth at each other, I would have just, if you had just shown me the original picture and then showed me this drawing, I would have assumed that it's like, oh yeah, someone's just doing a face study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was very good.
Very nice.
You did a grand job.
How you just look at it and it's like, I would have pointed out these things.
Yeah.
But never ever like the spot on Diana hair.
Like I said, that only helps if you know how to draw Diana hair.
Yeah.
Right, well, now, Chibi, you can have a nice relaxing time describing...
Cool. Gotta feel
Describing
even
a
more
drawing to
insane
Christi.
after that.
It's a speed.
I feel jittery now. My body had like a weird hormonal reaction to that. I was like, oh, I need to explain.
That's how I felt last. Just like, what is this feeling? I've never felt this before. I don't know if it's positive or not.
So you've gone through art puberty, is what you're telling me.
Yes. The art hormones have been released. Our brains are changing. My art beard is growing.
I'm gonna say, you guys, just as a heads up front, like I said in Discord, my brain just shuts off when you ask me to think about like any celebrity. So this person is kind of a celebrity, but none of you will know her.
Nice.
I know what she's from. I've seen the thing she's from. You guys, absolutely not, but I have talked about the thing she's from, so I feel like it's okay.
Fair enough.
Even though you haven't seen pictures of her at all, probably.
Well,
I mean, I might
Ragdoll
have
hasn't seen.
shown.
Ragdoll hasn't seen Sandy Toxic.
We've been forewarned.
Oh yeah, I should probably ask.
Just as a heads up.
Chib, do you know who Sandy Toxic is?
I have seen her before, yes.
Okay. I remember sharing pictures of her in Discord and we're talking about...
Yeah.
You know.
I have maybe shared
realizing
pictures
yesterday.
of this woman a couple of times, but then she always was in costume, and it's probably like 2 years ago by now.
I'm thinking French musicals. Let's go.
Yes, okay. I'm just gonna give a general vibe first.
Okay.
We have a youngish woman facing to the left of the canvas at like a three-quarter view. Um,
A lot of angles of
I mean, like, is it easier than straight on? Like,
straight on is
drawing,
impossible.
yes, describing, no. I feel like,
I mean, it does mean you only have to draw one ear.
Yeah.
um,
Yay.
yeah. I mean, you don't have to draw any ears in this case because she has like the hair covering it. Um, um, guess slightly more than 45-degree angles. The center line of the face, slightly more to the side of the face.
This side?
Yes, that side. Sorry. Um, she's like ever so slightly like facing down, but it's not like too much. Um, God, I'm getting sweaty again. It's
Yeah, I had to take off my drawing glove because I was getting sweaty.
uh she um okay. Um I don't even know where to start on this. Uh, so I'm just gonna like follow if you have like can you draw an eye line for me, please? A little bit higher than that. Hmm, let me see. I am already confused. Um,
I am a messy sketcher that probably doesn't help.
I mean, it's just because I know our processes are very different. So when I look at your like base, I would like completely fill it in differently, and I know you probably also like. um, God. Uh, ugh. um, uh,
Could I do like some we could do it like I could carve out some things instead.
uh, no, I'll try to describe things. I just have to like figure out a starting point. Um,
That was quite the moustache.
That's always the hard part. Like, where do we start?
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I
Because once something's there, you can always say, okay, push that inward, push that outward, move
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
Poke it
you're
with your finger.
now you're angling it too much, I think. But hold on. Um, uh, I'm gonna start there because that's where I always start my faces. Like you have like the she has like a little um like the little bump in for the eyes when you like look at a three-quarter view. Um, which is
Yes.
uh like at the edge of the face for like
Oh,
if you see like this yeah. It's not quite that long. It's a bit shorter, but it's very like rounded out. Um and like it does like a very like smooth curve into like a cheekbone area, which isn't
You can do it.
um it's all very smooth. Um
like very
uh,
slight, like this.
um the like indentation is a little like um shorter vertically, I guess. Um but generally that is like the right like curve of it. Like it's very like
Is that
smooth.
what you mean by shoulder?
I think so. It's fine. Um, there is like so cheekbone cheek area is also like very um like at that like same curve as like the above it kind of. um uh yeah, uh that's kind of like it's kind of like it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
um her chin is very round. um like uh yeah. It sticks out a little bit because it's at an angle, but it is very round. Yeah. Um, and then like the jawline is pretty much perfect. Like she has a very like
Ooh.
she has a pretty like defined jawline. Um, yeah. Um, okay. Uh, God.
Doing
Um,
great.
she's a very pretty woman. She has a very like princessy vibe about her. I'll say that much, at least in my mind. Um, okay. Um, God, I wish I knew how to measure distances in faces. Uh,
Just
uh,
maybe don't use centimeters. Well, it worked last time, so
I
maybe
mean, it kind
let's
of
say this is
did.
a centimeter.
Okay, that's okay. Then, like, about like 1.5 centimeters above like the chin is where the bottom of the lip starts. A little bit more up, 2 centimeter-ish, I guess. Uh, uh, yeah, just I guess that's more along the line. She has like a slight uh like um line of like where um the chin like rounds out like just below her lip. Does that make any sense?
That thing?
uh yeah, but that's like at the thing where you like
Okay.
drew the lip line and like the lip is slightly above that. But it's like almost pressed against each other. Move it up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems right. Um, she it's again, I'll give you just a general. Her mouth is just like ever so slightly open, but it's not like smiling or anything. It's a very resting like expression of just mm, not really happy. It's just ever so slightly upturned, but not s- actually smiling.
So, like, is this the lower lip?
No, no, no. The
Okay.
the line that you drew is like the bottom line of the lower lip. Yeah. Um, and yeah, so it has like on the left side, it's her bottom lip is kind of like curved into her like actual mouth because of the angle. Yeah. Uh, and then it kind of follows that line and then goes like slightly upwards into like this kind of half smiley. No, on the other side, sorry, on the right side of the bottom lip. Kind of like turns up into this like, yeah, kind of like that, and then half smiley resting position.
Well, they look nice, whoever they are. Sorry, I'm on the adrenaline come down.
uh, yeah, that's generally her lips are a little bit thicker than that, just a bit. They're not like massive, but yeah. Then yeah, and the bottom lip is about like the same like size as the top lip, so it's also a little bit thicker. Yeah.
We have drawn a shop mannequin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it is just the head.
yeah. Um, then from like the fuck, I used to know the word. I knew the word last week, but like from the little V of the lips up to the nose, she has like that um
Philtrum, something like that.
yeah.
Cupid's bow?
Uh yeah, something like that. I don't know the exact word, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, that bit.
Which is like
Ski slope.
yeah. And that's where um then from like the right side of that little ridge,
Yeah.
yeah, there. From there it goes like straight into the point of the nose, and like
Like that?
yeah, something like that. Um, um, the bridge of the nose is like very straight, um, and then it rounds out to meet that line. Yeah. A uh the the tip of the nose goes a little bit more down into a curve, and then it like yeah. Um you do see like one nostril, like the right nostril, um uh which um is like a um yeah, kind of like that. Thank you for reading my mind. And her like
More of that, please.
Right.
her actual nostril is like very faint, almost not there. Yeah.
This is a mannequin.
Almost.
This is many kin.
No, like um from like the where you put like the dip before on like the side of the face, on like the left side of the face. Um yeah, that one. Follow that to like the bridge of the nose, because that's where it curves into you know how we had difficulty with my 45-degree angle? Yes, thanks. That's where um and then it kind of like goes like the eyebrow goes kind of like straight to um a little bit more turned upwards than that. But yeah. Um and she has very like I did for mine, like moderate sized eyebrows, very straight and manicured. Um you don't actually see it dip down. You don't see like the curve of it from this angle
Oh,
for the left eyebrow. So it's just like this um rectangle of an eyebrow.
we love rectangles.
Uh,
Rectangles, nice and easy to draw.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, trying to figure out how this face works. Uh,
It's really weird. This face is every face I drew as a teenager.
maybe that's just her. Um, can you uh like um the where you drew the circle from the head, the lower,
Yeah.
like where you drew in the eye line before, where um uh yeah, that line, where that like meets the cheekbone on the left side. uh Select that and everything above that and just move that up a bit.
Okay.
to make her face a bit longer.
How much?
Yeah, that seems kind of right.
Now it looks like one of those pictures that you see on Tumblr or whatever, illustrations where the head has been sort of separated and inside is a galaxy or something strange.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
For the left eye, like the inner corner of it is kind of like almost touching like where the nose curves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it like almost touches the outer curve, like the curve of the face.
That's a
Sh-
big eye.
She has large eyes.
We have gone over 10,000 dropped frames.
Great.
Frame Man is having fun at the end of this stream, apparently. First 2 hours were fine.
She is looking at us.
Frame Man is getting antsy.
You can see like coming out of like about halfway like between the corner of the eye and the eyebrow, out of like the bridge of the nose there, you can see like an eyelid coming out. Mostly because she's wearing makeup and it's very obvious where her eyelids end because of it, but like generally there. Huh.
Any adjustments?
I think that's pretty good. The lower eye line doesn't like curve as much, but other than that, yeah. Huh. God.
Now the difficult other eye.
Yeah. I don't know how to.
I mean, it's digital art. Surely you can just copy paste and flip it over.
Wish.
In perspective,
Now the question is, would it take more time to use the transformation tool to fix the perspective of a copied eye, or to draw a new eye?
Yeah, that's pretty much the right spot.
Yay!
hey.
Yeah. For this eyebrow, you can see like the curve down at the edge.
Is it too mean looking?
S- ever so slightly. It isn't quite as spiky at the end. It's a little curvier than that. Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah.
Something I'm very bad at is knowing where the eyes line up to where they're looking.
I mean,
Is that about right?
I think I know what you mean, and yeah, that is very hard. So don't know if I'm the right person to like um uh tell you about that. Um
Am I getting rid of the helplines too early?
no, it's okay. She doesn't have like too many lines in her face that I could use those for. Um
He's a mannequin.
She
I
very
mean,
much looks like I'm having the problem again of like this is does not look anything like what I see, but I don't know how to describe it better.
well, I mean, part of the problem, and this is something I found when I was looking at various actresses, with just the amount of makeup some of them
Yeah,
have on, it's like all of your defining features are just gone just because
yeah,
of how much foundation you've put on.
it is very difficult.
They do look Disney.
Yeah, I mean she has like a very like princessy like vibe to her, I think personally.
She doesn't have any idea what's going on. Look at this head empty, no thoughts.
I mean, yeah, drawing is very head empty. Just nothing going on in there.
Now that's an emote.
Um, I'll describe the hair, and if I see anything other other defining features later, I'll mention them. Um,
Ye-
she has like a if you uh the inner part of her like right eyebrow, if you follow that along like the curve of the head, that's where her yeah, if you follow along the um like if you take like the curve of like the left outer side, like if you follow that curve like a little bit.
Looked like she was struck by an arrow there.
Yes.
uh I'm sorry, I'm very confusing. Um
It's not a provocation, it's to help myself.
yeah. The yes, the the inner part of the right eyebrow. Um yeah. You follow that up, but with like a little bit of the curve of that. Yeah, like that. Thank you.
Okay.
Um
So that's the patching?
yeah, that's where her hair parts. Um she has like uh wavy shoulder length hair. Um uh yeah, it goes a little bit further out like that. Uh yeah, little bit shorter, I guess. Like doesn't like drape over the shoulders. It just like touches like um
This is the
where a
opposite of an
neck would
undercut.
end. What?
This is the opposite of an undercut. This is only hair on the side.
um
I'm pretty sure there's at least one cyberpunk character that has that hairstyle.
um
Probably.
on the left side of the face, it kind of like swoops in front of the forehead just a little bit. Um yeah, kind of like that. And then it like turns into like waves of hair. Yeah. And on the right side it goes um it goes in front of her ear. Um
Like how much?
It completely covers her ear.
Okay.
So thank you for drawing an ear.
Yeah.
Scribble. Let's do that.
But yeah, with those with that waviness, she has like some real volume to her hair.
She has
Uh,
some oomph.
yeah, yeah.
This is now a wig mannequin.
Really
I
look
mean,
like that.
I've known
I
enough
am so
cosplayers.
sorry to this woman. She
Those
is
do
so
exist.
pretty.
Yeah.
Kira says, I think I had a doll like this when I was a kid. Yeah.
This looks like the manhwas I read as a teenager once again.
I don't know how to make this look more like her, and it doesn't look anything like her, but I just cannot do this. Oh, I'm so sorry to her. She's so pretty. That's nothing against your art, Christy. It's mostly against the way I described her. I don't know how to make this look like her.
Mannequin number one. Hey.
What's the makeup like?
It's um she has like a little bit brushed along like on her cheekbones. Like a bit of like bronzing, I guess it's called. Um and her eyelids are um like a darkish gray. Um I don't know if that will in any way make this look more like her. Um yeah, just mostly just the like actual eyelids, and it doesn't like go to like the area um above that like fold.
I
Yeah.
am getting, in terms of vibes, is almost certainly not this person, but I'm getting the what's the actress who was the main character in Twilight? What's the name?
Kristen
No.
Stewart? We drew her last time.
It's not her.
Okay, Kristen Stewart is to feminine faces what Nicolas Cage is to male faces apparently.
Um, okay,
I just thought
the
that might help, but you don't have to go any further with it.
no, the uh left eyebrow, if you take where it like touches the face, um,
What?
then uh, because it like goes like eyebrow ridge, it goes like into, or at least it looks that way thanks to the hair. It like goes in a little bit above the eyebrow.
Okay.
I hope that will somewhat help this.
Uh-oh. Layer problem. I'm on the makeup layer, and
No.
the sketch layer is underneath it, underneath my screen.
Ah. Uh,
Can you move the layer up to the top?
does that help?
No. Maybe I just erase the makeup layer.
That they better?
Oh, yay! Thank you.
I just had an idea for an even worse version of this game,
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
which is that either physically or digitally, the person who is describing the face is also drawing it. But they're not allowed to look at what the other person's doing, so they just have to describe what they're drawing as they're drawing it, and that's all they've got to go on.
Yeah. I guess the
Oh, that
hair,
would be chaos.
just as a final note,
Oh, there we
I
go.
think the hair is like a little bit, it's even, just a little bit shorter and it's a bit like um wouldn't like say curlier, but the like she, because it isn't like yeah, kind of more like that, like what you just did, like
Draw an S shape.
draw an S.
Ring start.
It's
Yay. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. That made her look kind of more like it. Uh, yeah, make it on the right side. Make it go a little bit more out, like bit further in. So yeah, yeah. Okay, that's everything I can give you. I hope that kind of helped the mannequin vibes a little bit, but I'm not sure.
Honestly, just adding pupils to the eyes gave a lot of life to it. So.
I'm looking so forward to seeing this person.
um, this is
It's Vinnie
her.
Jones. Ooh.
Her name is
Oh,
Camille Lou, and she is indeed from a couple of French musicals, like Chris guessed at the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, she plays the main female lead in Les Amants de la Bastille, which I have drawn out on my Twitch channel, which I haven't done a draw through of.
Yeah.
And she also plays Guinevere in the
Guinevere.
Arthur musical, which I've
Yeah.
also drawn out. So yes, she has a very princessy vibe about her.
So
So much so that they put her as the princess.
Yeah.
clearly we should know what this person looks like because Chibi has drawn them twice.
Probably with a much squarer nose, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm probably doing a squat.
Maybe. I don't know.
Good old chip squat.
Yeah.
But I've seen her before, but I haven't watched any musicals, so I don't know what I've seen her in.
I mean, like I said, I think I did post pictures of her when I was
Oh,
into my
maybe.
French musical phase. Probably in costume though. So,
Yeah.
but it's still her face, so that's probably.
I mean,
The
I should
elves-
hope that when she changes clothes for her parts, she isn't also changing her face.
Mm,
That would be cool, though. What
The
talent.
I mean, you
I'm-
can do a
I'm-
lot of things with makeup. But
Yeah.
yes.
Because let me
You can
see.
throw it at someone.
This is
You
her
could-
as Guinevere.
Ooh.
ooh,
Pretty.
That looks more like the drawing. That picture. Interestingly.
Yeah,
Interesting.
she's Elsa.
Nice.
white hair for Guinevere, though. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also interesting because that's not the first that's not the only thing of Guinevere I've seen where it's like, yeah, we're just gonna be giving her white hair, and it's like, what?
Is it? Did they mix it up with Galadriel? Might have done.
I mean, she would make a pretty good Galadriel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, looks wise, like.
Just given what I've seen of the casting of the new Lord of the Rings thing, it might be better off.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
I still can't get over that Elrond picture. The
It's
only thing
just-
I've seen from that casting. I don't want to see more after that.
Yeah, I'm
Just a
fine.
guy.
It's just a guy. Look, absolutely nothing like him. It's just some guy.
It's just some random guy.
Like, I mean, it's gonna take a long time before you find anybody who looks like Hugo Weaving, but
Yeah, but even then you can like give someone like a more like elvish look.
yeah,
This
it's
is just like a frat
they,
boy.
yeah, he's stuck ears on. I could do something with the eyebrows. Everyone's eyebrows were all over the place. I don't know.
I
Anyway.
mean, this is with you making the assumptions of them actually doing things to, preserve artistic integrity instead of just doing a cash grab to try and make the next Game of Thrones,
Yeah,
because everyone's trying to make the
Yeah.
next Game of Thrones. Even
that's
though
true.
it's like, why would you want to make the next Game of Thrones? People despised the ending of Game of Thrones. Nobody talks about it anymore.
Also, now that I say it out loud, like, does it necessarily have to be like connected to the Peter Jackson films? Like, it could just be, Lord of the Rings was a thing before them. So,
I mean, yeah, but like indeed,
but
like
again, like, it would look more like an elf.
if you wanted to look different from the Peter Jackson films, that's totally fine. But then you actually have to make it look different,
Yeah.
and not like elves are just like one of the more important elves in this universe that people know of, and not just some random dude we found and like outside on the street, and we pulled him in and stuck some elf ears on it.
He was just sitting in a
Yeah,
field, and we took a photo and photoshopped the ears, stretched them with a liquefy tool.
Like,
it'd be one thing if it's just kind of like, hey, these don't look exactly like the characters yet because we're just doing a like fun photo shoot with everyone who's been cast for it so
Insert.
far, or all the characters that are involved. Because I've seen that with voice actors, where a lot of them very clearly do not look like the characters they play for various reasons. But it's like, hey, we're dressed up in either, that's a fun photo shoot for a different reason. They're like either dressed up as the character or dressed up in clothes that sort of invoke the character for fun. But with that one, it's like clearly this was intended as a promo shoot. And it's like, I don't
that's the
know what you
picture
were
I'm
thinking.
talking about.
Yeah. Like clearly the intent of that is like, oh, this is a promo shoot. It's like you just found a dude and
Yeah, it's
Is that a
like
dinosaur in the background? What's going on?
I think it's a tree branch, and it's not
Brachiosaurus?
like
Oh, I see it as a dinosaur now.
yeah.
That looks more like a dinosaur than he looks like an elf. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't like because that might be like how some people take it. Like he doesn't need to be like prettified or something like
No,
that
no.
because the Tolkien elves aren't perfect, and like Hugo Weaving is still clearly an elf, even though he's not like
I don't think anyone would describe Hugo
Henry
Weaving as
Cavill.
prettified.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like he
he's
doesn't have
distinct.
this like eternally useful face or anything like that.
No.
But like he still looks like an elf, and he looks royal. And this is just some guy in like any like generic fantasy film, maybe, but like even then, like I've seen like LARP costumes that are better.
Well, generic fantasy films are usually based on Tolkien anyway, so it's nice that it's come full
not
circle.
usually that explicitly though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
This one
not
isn't
usually
explicit.
literally Tolkien.
They've
I
made
mean, it's also
changes
just
here.
like, would it kill them to put some color in his clothes? Like
Yes.
maybe that would already help.
Yes, it
Like,
would
why
kill them.
is he wearing every shade of beige?
Very beige.
50 Shades of Beige?
Well, and it's interesting because most other representations I've seen of this character have him in a lot of blues.
Yeah. I mean,
So it's like, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's just beige.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I've seen Lord of the Rings, but
Imbe.
I think I remember like the elven city, all of the elves and everything being like an iridescent sort of pewter, beigey kind of vibes.
Yeah,
It
I
was
mean,
very
it was
sparkly.
like
did they mistake
picture
the color palette of the?
shiny.
Sorry, did they mistake the color palette of the city with the color palette of the clothes? That's what I'm asking.
maybe
Maybe.
because I remember like the like people, like the elven people, were usually indeed like wearing like deep blues or not as many reds, but there are some reds, but like very like royal-y kind of colors of like wealthy, like stereotypical like fantasy medieval wealthy like
Yeah,
colors.
except for the
Hmm.
forest elves, which were mostly in browns and greens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that makes
But
sense. But this is
also,
like
yeah, but also they're considered like the Hicks of the elven.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that makes sense. But
I
like
I just like the
and like
idea of like city dwellers in real life as like, well, they live in a city, so they're gonna wear brick red and concrete grey.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, okay, yeah. But like it's also just like if you give this as a promo shot, like just in general, like beige. Now I'm just thinking like purely color theory, beige doesn't say anything about a character other than plain, which is a bad thing to know about a character in my opinion.
yeah,
Like you don't want your character like I don't know if he's gonna be a main character in this series or whatever, probably. But like you don't want an important character of the series that people like you need people to recognize be remembered or anyway associated with plain and
yeah.
boring.
This is the kind of color scheme I'm thinking about, I think. There's a bit of red, but it's also just iridescent whites and pewters and beiges.
There's contrast. It's
Yeah.
And it's dramatic and flowy.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it has something else than just the colors.
yeah, I think the flowiness is a big part of it. Like the
Well, and
very
then
like
also like
rose kind of feeling.
even the ones that are dressed in the beige, it's like you could even sort of see from here, those are more ornate. Like with
Yeah.
the first image you posted, it really does look like they just grabbed a tablecloth and hung it
it
around the room.
does. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah, it does like
Yeah.
yeah, it does feel
Oh,
like
I'm cold.
very
I'll take this tablecloth and be on my way with my sack of belongings.
Like it doesn't look. It doesn't look noble, does it? It looks
Nope.
like he's. You could tell me that's a wood elf.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
You
out.
could
He's
tell me
hunting
that's
or
like
something.
a farm boy going into the world for the first time.
Yeah,
Farm
with his
boy. Yeah.
dad's tablecloth around his shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that kind of like very plain, like plain beige, nothing patterns or nothing in like texture or anything. It's just
Kira was thinking of a curtain, so we're all on the same page.
same page. It's like yeah,
Look at all of
it's
It's
his
like someone was
shininess.
doing it's like someone was doing closet cosplay, which is sometimes
Yeah,
very fun. But the whole point of closet cosplay, it's like how close can I get with just what I have on?
yeah.
mm-hmm.
And
The
that's
idea
not
of
what you should be doing for a large production. That's what
the
you
i-
should be doing as improv.
the idea of closet cosplay is that you're not going to be photographed in Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Like that's
I mean, it. I think it also for me like feels so like dissonant because I have read like Tumblr posts about like the work and effort they put into like like the costume people put into like every single detail of like the costuming of the Lord of the Rings, the
yeah.
original
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, like about like how they like use like different like thread sizes for like the Hobbit clothes, so they would look
That's
more like in
amazing.
size and everything.
Love it.
Or that they like used like a different technique for like chain mailing and everything, and then like to just see some like random like frat boy in a tablecloth, it's just it just
Like in
feels
the
very
first,
like, did you like? I mean, you put effort into like the photo shoot, but other than that,
It's a good photo. Like,
it's a
I
very pretty
yeah.
photo. It's just like what it's a photo is not really that interesting to look at.
Like, I could. Do you reckon you could, like, if you slapped like a Dinotopia logo on this? Do you reckon you could convince people that it's a rebooting
oh,
Dinotopia?
send it to James Gurney. But like, look at all of the different kinds of fabrics in the first picture I
Yeah,
posted. That's a lot of different shininess and iridescence and
yeah,
weights.
yeah. It's like very like different cloths, different textures, different patterns, and also like what the frat boy is wearing are all just like similar shades of like the same beige color.
Yeah.
Like the tablecloth is a little bit more like lighter, but like other than that, it's all pretty much like a beige blob.
Well,
I
and
guess.
also to be of note, if I recognize that scene correctly, the second picture, the clothes that they're wearing are. This isn't quite the right word because this isn't quite what's happening on that. I think that's the scene where they're going to sail off to the east.
Yeah,
So those are essentially funeral clothes. Like there's a
Yeah.
reason why they're dressed more plainly there. And even then, it's still very elegant.
So, if like 25 minutes ago, when we'd just gone an hour over stream, I would have said, "Do you want like for the next 25 minutes? You want to talk about the new Lord of the Rings reboot?" I love where these streams go. I have no idea where they're gonna go.
absolutely not.
Oh, that's great. Because I was like, I was getting worried because it's like, oh, it's almost 11 o'clock where Chibi and Christi are. We should, try and
No,
hurry
you
this
you
up.
made you
And
made
then
Chibi angry, so now she's more awake again.
yeah.
Yeah, I did suddenly feel more awake when I started talking about this.
This is what we need to do. We need to find something for Chibi to complain about to recover from trying to describe celebrities. And then it'll be fine. It all balances out. Chill hangout times, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to watch Lord of the Rings now.
Everyone go watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's a good film series.
And
Maybe
or
don't watch the Lord of the Rings like series that they're gonna make.
look
God,
at
that
it.
armor is just look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Look at it.
Damn.
Not a curtain in sight.
Not a curtain in sight. But it does like maybe it's just because I'm so used to like the Lord of the Rings movies, but that just like screams immediately like this is elfish.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
it's
Cool.
weird,
Well, and I think they
somewhat
did that on purpose.
unpractical, beautiful, still somehow usable, everything all wrapped into one.
It's ornate, but in a swooshy light way instead of a how many details can we put on this plate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this square plate.
Yeah, it wasn't we need decoration, it was like let's design an outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's design something that fits the character and the time and etc. It's a time. Good costume design is good. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
You don't know what you got
But
till it's gone.
again, this is with us going artistic integrity, but the point here isn't artistic integrity, it's cash grab, which is why we are now of
Money!
time where instead of making a costume, they'll make a CGI costume instead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
If
that's
The
just so they don't have to pay
Witcher
people.
and Lord of the Rings and all of these sort of things people have been looking forward to could have like the old feeling and integrity of back when Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter was made.
Mm.
That's
There was
just
a lot of
me
practical
back
effects
in
that went into
my
the Harry
day.
Potter
Mm.
too, which is sort of fun because that's something where it's like you could get away with weird magic bullshit because it's all weird magic bullshit. But
Yeah.
no, there was a lot of practical effects used in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as a kid, I dreamed of becoming a prop maker because of all of the um, effects that was in these productions, and how detailed they all were, even when not necessary.
We could make a little film company together. Christi can do the props,
Yay.
and Chib can do the costumes. I
You want
like
me to do
Foley.
the costumes? I can sew.
No, just design them. I get someone else to make them.
Oh,
It's fine.
okay. Yeah, that's fine. I might do that. I might be able to do that.
Hey, Doc. How is the old jewelry? I don't know what the delay is, so I'm just not going to wait for an answer. Anyway, let's turn everything on. Blah blah blah. Oh, look at that joke.
Oh, scary.
Yeah, that red.
That looks like human feet now.
Well,
No.
we now the big cat dog friend is I guess they're called Rhombus now.
They
I
are
mean, that's
quite
a
a
cute name
rhombus,
for a cat.
especially a chunky one.
No, is this the Hugo Weaving Appreciation Hour now?
Let's.
But
I
I'm on
mean,
board.
it's the Hugo Weaving Appreciation Hour. It's also just the Lord of the Rings costumers appreciation hour.
Yeah,
Because even in like that like minimal shot, do you see that embroidery?
it's probably not on stream actually. It's too small. But yeah, it's good.
like
That's great.
like the different like
And it's
textures
brocade on
and
the inside.
embroidery and like like
His cuffs has cuffs.
exactly.
He has cuffs.
Cuffs.
Like, and then just like scroll back up and you see a guy in a tablecloth. That just makes me angry.
Oh yeah, that is disappointing.
Just,
Oof.
like,
They spent all the money on the dinosaur.
Every time I scroll up again, I'm just oof. No.
it's like, why is everything so plain?
Dinosaur.
Why is
I'm standing by this.
yeah.
Anyway, we should end the stream before it becomes tomorrow for
Yeah, probably.
Chibi and Christi.
Yeah, that's 20 minutes.
It's fine. We're having good times.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Good Sunday chats.
Yay.
Yeah. I'll be back on Tuesday with Tuesday. Because that's how that works. Yeah, more Metal Gear Solid. Carrying on with that. Playing the mugs.
Playing the megas.
Playing the bugs. Yeah. And then Wednesday is the Bioshock Infinite draw through, and then Thursday's probably a ChibiNetherlands day, and then Saturday's more Wildermyth, and then Sunday is us talking about Hugo Weaving for 2 hours. Sorry, 3.5.
I can do that.
We're gonna do, yeah. So next Sunday is Lord of the Rings costume critique. I hate how this.
I mean, we could just bring up a bunch of costumes and do some redlining bits. Well,
yes,
in your case, probably not quite so literally red, but you know.
Well, your case.
Dude, next Sunday we're gonna do a costume study. That's what I'm getting from this.
earlier I
interesting.
was gonna say I wanted to do a costume studying session on Friday, so I wouldn't mind.
Yeah! Let's
We're getting
learn how to do some costuming.
we're getting into costumes apparently. Well, you know, it is what it is. Also, I hate the way OBS has changed its transparency.
Next Sunday we're gonna learn. We're not gonna do the Lord of the Rings series mistakes of just slapping a tablecloth on someone.
I think you have significantly too high hopes of me if you think I'm going to learn anything.
Listen, there's a low bar. The low bar has been set.
True. I can tell the difference between like embroidery and a tablecloth. Well, it could have been an embroidered tablecloth. You have embroidered tablecloths.
Yeah, but they didn't even go for that. They just went for a plain beige tablecloth.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming to the stream. I'm going to end the stream now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.